Good evening, everyone. This is the Rooftop Sports, and yes, I am finally back for some Mariners baseball as I have missed. Geez, how many games have I missed? I missed 5 games in a row. So the Astros game on Saturday was because don't quit your day job. Sunday was because don't quit your day job. The Tuesday game against the Nationals, I was doing my softball practice for my church softball team. Wednesday was don't quit your day job. And yesterday was because I was at the game, but I am finally here. And Daniel Barry, thank you for being here as well. Yep. Hey, everyone. Happy Friday. Yep. It was a Friday that we all needed. And boy, it was a really long week of just don't quit your day job. And now I'm finally here for the Mariners game. And how many games have I done this week or this year? This is now my 26th game. And I can be proud to say that I am going to be at 26. I am now more than a quarter of a way to get to that ultimate goal of 100. So let's get to it and let's get to some Mariners baseball. All right. So yeah, I went to that game yesterday, and boy, it was an absolute disaster of the game. It was a 2-2 game in the top of I think it was the top of the 10th inning. And next thing you know, Colin Snyder pitches a wild pitch, a very wild pitch, and that led to the 7-run massacre. And somehow Colin Snyder was allowed to pitch the entire inning. It makes me wonder what Dan Wilson is up to, and it makes me question his abilities to be a manager, as if I already criticized him for being, as if I already criticized Scott Service for basically doing the same things that Dan Wilson is doing. And it seems that nothing has seemed to improve on the managerial side. Maybe the offense a little bit better, but right now the offense has absolutely struggled in the last month. Like it feels like 2024 all over again, especially with Jorge Polanco struggling. Now here is the lineup for today. We got, I think this is Byron Buxton. Then we got LaMarche, Jeffers, Carlos Correa. We got Lee. We got Brooks Lee, Ty France, the former Mariner, Clemens, Lewis, and Willie Castro. And on the mound today, we've got Zebby Matthews. And I think I did add him onto my fantasy baseball team. So there will be an opportunity for me to get some strikeouts because I really do need those strikeouts real badly because I am losing in strikeouts. And Mariners are about to take the field. Both teams are 30-25. Brian Wu, the Mariners ace as of now, will be taking the mound. He is 5-2 with a 2.40 ERA. His whip is still below 1. And so he is one of the best starters in all of baseball. 60 strikeouts to only 8 walks. So he is having a fantastic season. Looks like former Mariner Ty France and Cal Raleigh were catching up. Still very disappointing to see that in the Mariners. I think they really could have gotten Ty France back. I think they should have brought Ty France back. Now the players are just catching up, and some are finally saying that maybe the Mariners gave up on Ty France so too early. Like, it's not like, I mean, I don't know. Still conflicted on how it all went down. And now their camera's pointing to J.P. Crawford. And let's look at the lineup for the Seattle Mariners. We've got J.P. Crawford leading off. And remember, he was ejected yesterday from the Mariners game due to that frustration. But I think it was like that really bad call, which no question it was. But I think it had more to do with the fact that he is maybe playing under a lot of stress because he is playing. He does have competition awaiting him that are coming up to him. Got Cole Young. There are talks about Cole Young possibly being called up to Major League Baseball, which surprisingly has not happened yet, which I do think it really does have to happen. Like, take the chance, give him an opportunity because the Mariners offense is just absolutely atrocious. Then we got Jorge Polanco, who has just completely fallen off. He's not batting 266. He's been batting pretty much 100 in the month of May. Then we got Julio Rodriguez, who he still can do a lot better. Then we got Cal Raleigh, the cleanup hitter. He had the opportunity to hit his 20th home run several times, but didn't happen. Then we got the struggling Randy Arozarena, who the bobblehead boy, which, by the way, I do have his bobblehead. It is right over here. This bobblehead hasn't been opened yet. I'm considering to like use it as a giveaway of some sort. And then we got Rowdy Tellez. Then we got Leody Taveras, Miles Mastrobuoni, and Ben Williamson. And the crazy thing is, Ben Williamson is actually the third best hitter in terms of batting average on this lineup, which is, to tell you the truth, it's really sad. Injury reports. We got Bryce Miller coming back at about May 31st. Trent Thornton is projected to come back June 3rd, and Logan Gilbert projected June 8th. So the starting rotation is still going to be very short-handed. And let's hope for the point that the Mariners, they are still able to, that they will be able to hold the fort as long as they possibly can. And also, this is going to be my last game up until I'm going to be missing quite a bit of games again. Like, oh my gosh, just look at that. For the next week or so, I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I would have missed 7 of the last 8 games, mostly due to don't quit your day job and my schedule just not aligning at all. Like, I just don't have, it's like I'm having just really terrible luck with the scheduling. So, I mean, it is what it is. And now we are going to get started. The game is going to start in about 2 minutes. Going to be at 7:10. And let's play a little quick commercial before we even get started. So let's get right to it. SeatGeek is a mobile ticketing app for sporting events, concerts, and other events. They make the buying experience easier by the app ranking each ticket from 0 to 10 to see if you are getting a good deal, and you can see exactly where you are sitting. I regularly use that app, and I have had nothing but a fantastic experience with SeatGeek. Use my promo code RooftopSports to get $20 off of your first purchase. Link to the code, app, and website will be in the description, so take advantage, and thank you. Yep, take advantage, and thank you very much. And looks like Mariners are taking the field. We got Bryan Woo about to be pitching, and attendance seems to be maybe a little bit slightly higher than yesterday because I was at the game yesterday. And what I learned from the concession is the best value meal, in my opinion, is Ivers or Kid Valley or whatever it's called, because I do like the clam chowder, or not the clam chowder, just the fried clams. I think those, or was it the calamari? I don't even know what it was, but whatever it was really good. I think those are the best value meal. It was like $1, but you still get a lot.
Okay, here's what you want to do. Save hundreds when Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance.
Are you a caddy?
No,
Why
I'm
is there
Doug.
noise on my...
That's a limo.
Okay, I'm in a putt now.
Okay.
Weird. And we are about to start. It's going to be Byron Buxton. He's going to be the hitter. And now we're going to the first pitch, or he is just practice pitching. Bryan Woo, 5-2 with a 2.69 ERA into his 10 starts. He's been by far one of the best, probably the best pitcher in the rotation. He's got a 4-seam fastball, sinker, slider, sweeper, and the changeup. Probably would like to try to see him use that changeup a little bit more. But the sinker and his fastball has been his strong suit. And he has been developing very well. In defensive alignments, the former Gold Glover, Cal Raleigh, will be behind the plate. Julio at center. Randy Rosarena left field. The lazy man, Leody Taveras right field. And he had quite a bit of action yesterday. Ben Williamson, third. JP short. Miles Mastrobuoni, second. Rowdy Tellez, first base. As Bryan Woo is getting ready to go. And the first pitch is almost coming up. And it will be brought to you by SeatGeek. SeatGeek, use my promo code RooftopSports to get your $20 off. And we are getting ready for that first pitch. And now here is that first pitch. And a swing and a miss. And we are underway here at T-Mobile Park. That was a 96-mile-an-hour fastball. Byron Buxton is batting .261 with 10 home runs and 27 RBIs. Now he's looking at the 0-1 pitch, 0-1 count. And now here is the 0-1 pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. So already at strike 2 on Byron Buxton. Twins leaders in hits, it's Ty France with 49. Byron Buxton with 10 home runs. On base percentage, .312. Batting average, .261. And now we're at 0-2. And now here is the 0-2 pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball, 1-2 for Byron Buxton. We got 3 pitches for Bryan Woo so far, and there is hoping that he actually pitches a long game because Mariners bullpen really got used up yesterday. And we got looking at 1-2. And now here is the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-2 for Byron Buxton. And I wonder, yesterday there's no NBA games today. I was thinking about the NBA, but there's no games. Knicks and Pacers game 6 on Saturday. And now we are at 2-2. And now here is the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And we got 1 strikeout for Bryan Woo, and that is going to be 1 out for the Minnesota Twins. And next hitter is going to be, what's his name? It's going to be Lamock. It's going to be Trevor Lamock is going to be up to the plate. Batting .242 thus far in the season. And now here is the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Batting .242 with 6 pitches in there. 7 home runs and batting .242 with 23 RBIs. And Bryan Woo is breathing really hard. And now the 0-1. Now here's a liner to left field, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. And Lamock gets on base with a single. And now the next batter is going to be Jeffers. Ryan Jeffers, the catcher. So far in this season, Ryan Jeffers is batting .253 with a .349 OBP, 3 home runs, 18 RBIs. And he's going to be up to the task against Bryan Woo. Ty France is coming up real soon. He's going to be after Lee. He is the 6th batter in the lineup. Ryan Jeffers batting .253 with 3 home runs and 18 RBIs. And now the pitch. It's going to be low for a ball. That is ball 1. And I will certainly turn on the volume when the standing ovation happens for Ty France. There's a lot of love for Ty France. It's just too bad it did not work out in Seattle in the last 2 seasons, as we're at 1-0 in the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. That's going to be strike 1 for Ryan Jeffers. Ryan Jeffers is one of the hard hitters. His average exit velo is 90.2. Probably seems more like a contact hitter, the pitch. And that's going to be strike 2 on the Jeffers. 1-2. Jeffers last season hit 21 home runs, batted .226 with 64 RBIs. And now we're at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball popped up to right field. And Rowdy Tellez in foul territory makes the catch. And that is going to be 2 outs. And next up to the plate is going to be cleanup hitter Carlos Correa. Carlos Correa was the former All-Star when he was dating back to his Houston Astros days. And he was one of the main core contributors of that team. Signed a massive contract with the Twins. Now the pitch. Now here's a broken bat, and that's going to be a foul ball, and that bat goes sailing over. And that is going to be strike 1 for Carlos Correa. And that bat literally just broke. Carlos Correa has been a Houston Astro since 2015. His prime season was in 2021 when he was 5th in MVP with a 7.3 wins above replacement. And then 22, he left for the Twins. But with the Twins, his success has been a little bit more limited. Last season, he hit 14 home runs, 54 RBIs in 86 games due to injury. And he was an All-Star last season. He's a 3-time All-Star. Now we're at 0-1 for Correa. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball, 1-1. 1-1 for Carlos Correa. And now the 1-1. And that's going to be in there for a strike. A 96-mile-an-hour fastball from Bryan Woo. 1-2. And we got 2 outs. The Mariners have got to finish this. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3. And that's going to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, 1 man left on, 2 strikeouts by Bryan Woo. We go to the bottom of the first inning. It is no score. Mariners coming up. Still, commercial break is going on. Wonder how my WNBA team doing is, and my MLB team. Looks like I'm inching a bit closer. For WNBA, how am I doing? It sounds like I'm doing having a really horrible game. Yep, I'm getting absolutely obliterated. Commercial still ongoing. And also, I'm going to play a game. It's going to be called the Immaculate Grid MLB. I'm going to play that in commercial break. Maybe once I get a little bit more engagement. And we are back from the break. We got JP Crawford, who's going to be up for the plate. And JP Crawford had a really tough game yesterday. He not only went hitless in that game, and he also got ejected yesterday due to arguing with the umpire due to a controversial call in the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. JP Crawford went 0 for 3 before getting ejected. Now the pitch, and that's going to be up high for a ball, 1-1 for JP. Zebby Matthews is the starter, 2 starts, 0-1 with a 7-point-something ERA. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a liner to left field, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. Actually, it was a little bit of a blooper, and JP Crawford will get on base with a no-out single. And now next up is going to be Jorge Polanco. Matthews is a 4-seamer fastball, mostly some sliders, cutters, little curveballs, and very little changeup uses. But maybe he should use some of those pitches on Jorge Polanco because he has been absolutely atrocious in the entire month of May, and hopefully June will be a better fresh start from now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. Jorge Polanco's batting .266 with 10 home runs, and he's really got to get it going because he was off to a great start in April, and now he has pretty much just disappeared at this point. Only 30 RBIs. Now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field, and that's going to get over the head for a base hit. And now JP Crawford moves to second base with a single by Jorge Polanco. And good to see Jorge at least get a hit. Maybe that'll get some of that confidence going. And now we got Julio Rodriguez. And next thing we know, we got men on first and second base with nobody out. But with Julio Rodriguez, he can end that in an absolute hurry. Eating a little salad, by the way. Now here's Julio Rodriguez up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. And worst part, that was right down the middle, right on the spot where he does hit those pretty well. Pretty disappointing for Julio Rodriguez, but he's really got to get it going. And now the pitch, low for a ball, and that is going to be ball 1 for Julio Rodriguez. Mariners leaders. He is one of the leaders in hits. Cal Raleigh leads in home runs. RBIs, Cal Raleigh with 37. Now we're at 1-1 for Julio Rodriguez. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-1 for Julio. Trying to remember how Julio did yesterday. He was also 0 for 4 along with striking out. So he also had a terrible game along with JP. Now the pitch, and that's going to be popped up, and that's not going to get anything done. No one's going to really move anywhere, and he makes the catch. And there's going to be no tagging, as he shouldn't. And now that's going to be 1 out. Next up is going to be Cal Raleigh, and you really got to get it right with him. And I wonder if he still has a chance to tie Shohei Ohtani as the major league leader in home runs. And looks like he does. So Cal Raleigh batting .260, 19 home runs, and 37 RBIs. He has a great chance to be voted in the All-Star game. Now here's Cal Raleigh. Now here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to deep right field, and that is gone. That is a home run, a 3-run home run for Cal Raleigh right on the first pitch, and the Mariners take the lead to make it 3-0 off a bullet home run by the big dumper Cal Raleigh, and the Mariners already get off to that early lead. What a nice hit by Cal Raleigh, and it's good to see the Mariners jumping out early in a hurry, and now Julio's going to give him that trident, and yeah, he's like, yeah, whatever, and let's get it going. And also on top of that, that's his 4th career 20 home run season, and he is tied in the major leagues with Shohei Ohtani with 20 home runs. And now here's Randy Arozarena, and that was a big swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 1 as he was trying to follow up with Cal Raleigh with a back-to-back job, and he's going to have to redeem himself because he stunk yesterday. And again, he swings and misses right in his good zone, and that's going to be strike 2 for Randy. Come on, Randy, you got to do something. And now the pitch. Outside for a ball. That is going to be ball 1. 20 home runs before the end of May in history. This has happened 3 times. Cal Raleigh is now the 3rd. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep left field. Is that going to be enough? He is going back at the track, and that is gone. That is a home run for Randy Arozarena. He redeems himself from yesterday's disaster, and he hits that home run. And that is going to be the fireworks going off. And what a way for the Mariners to start. And he does that little celebration. Here's Randy Arozarena doing that. He's doing a little cross arm thing. I'm doing it for him on his behalf. It's the Mariners 4 and the Twins 0. And the Mariners are absolutely on fire. He's really just embracing the glory. And I'm like, Randy, just sit down and just enjoy the home run. Not that much of that kind of yep. He's like all show-offy about it, but Cal Raleigh's like, yeah, whatever. And now here's Rowdy Tellez, and that's going to be low for a ball. If Rowdy Tellez is to hit that home run, it'll be a back-to-back-to-back, and I think that hasn't happened since 2016. The most notable back-to-back-to-back, the pitch, big swing and a miss, and he tried it. The most notable back-to-back home run I remember was Alex Rodriguez, Ken Griffey Jr., and Edgar Martinez hit those back-to-back-to-backs. Jay Buhner tried to, and then he popped out. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to second base, and the throw to first, and that's going to be in time, and that is going to be 2 outs. They're reminiscing about Cal Raleigh, and that was just an absolute laser. 20th home run of the season already. And I think at this pace, he could be on pace for around 40 home runs. I wonder how many games Cal Raleigh has played by now. So if he's played in 55 games, now this is 56 games. And now here's a ground ball and right to Ty France, and that's going to go to the bag, and that is going to retire the side. But however, the Mariners get off to a quick 4-0 lead off home runs by Cal Raleigh and Randy Arozarena. We are going to take a little break, and we will be back after these messages.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thin crust.
And I would play this game called the Immaculate Grid MLB, but I'm not ready to play because, well, nobody is here. No one's talking. So if no one's going to talk, I'm not going to play right now. And we are back from the break as Ty France is actually on deck. And I got to turn up the volume and live the moment for his standing ovation. And they're having a Ty France commercial moment. They're having a little tribute for Ty France. I'm sure it's going to be a very surreal moment for Ty France. Yep, it will be extremely cool to see a standing ovation experience for Ty France. And now the pitch. And that is going to be in there for a strike. And what we can remember and appreciate from Ty France was he was a very big part of the Mariners ending their playoff drought, and he was all-star in 2022. Here is Brooks Lee. And now here is going to be the 0-1 pitch, and here it is. And that's going to be low for a ball, 1-1. And Ty France was part of that Austin Nola trade. And it was Austin Nola and Danny Altavilla. And that turned into Andres Munoz, Ty France, and Taylor Trammell. That was what I say one of the best trades that Jerry Dipoto has ever made in his career, especially his time as a GM/president with the Mariners. And it was an excellent trade. Something he said that he could not pass up. He thought it was an extremely good value trade, and it turned out it really was. The 2-1. Now here's a line drive foul. And who would have thought that Ty France was going to be the cornerstone of this team, one of the cornerstones, considering that he had to take over for Evan White because Evan White had his injury problems, and it seems like he still does. Wonder what Evan White is up to these days. Now we're at 2-2, and now here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike 3 called. What a nasty fastball by Brian Wu. And now we've got one out, and now here is Ty France, and it's time to live the moment for him. And Ty France is getting that absolute standing ovation. It is absolutely deserved, but it looks like he is just extremely focused in this game right now. And if I would think that if he hits that home run, he will get a huge standing ovation. Played with the Mariners from 2020 to 2024. Once again, all-star in 2022. And let's see what Ty France can do. Big smiles on his face. Gets to play against his former teammate, Brian Wu. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul. There was a part of me that actually was interested in the idea of bringing back Ty France. But unfortunately, it just did not happen. They went with a different direction for Donovan Solano, which has, by the way, been an absolute disaster. He has 4 home runs, batting .254. Now the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. 30 RBI. So he would basically be just as effective as any other Mariners player had he been on this team. A lot of things to appreciate for Ty France, and would like to see what he can do. Honestly, I actually wouldn't mind seeing a home run. I think that'd be a really cool moment. But, you know, Brian Wu, he's just thinking about winning a baseball game. He doesn't want to play easy on his former teammate. As now we're at 0-2 for Ty France. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Cal Raleigh really tried to frame it. Now it was way up high anyway. Mariners up 4-0 in case you missed it. Top of the second, 1-2, 1 out. Seconds on the clock. And he's running out of time. And it should have been a violation. The pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul again. And Ty France is fighting it off. Twins have won 17 of their last 22 games. Now we're at 1-2 for Ty France. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Ben Williamson to throw to first. That is in time to get Ty France, and that's going to be 2 outs for the Minnesota Twins. Looking at Evan White, he has not done anything at all. Doesn't even say that he's on a team or anything. I don't even think he's on the team.
In the top 10, 3.29 for their starters and relievers combined. Now the pitching was otherworldly during that winning streak as well. Here's Cody Clemens.
Now here's Cody Clemens up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. We got BC and Daniel Berry now on the board. If anyone's on this show, show yourselves and put the chats because I want to engage with all of you. Now we're at 0-1 for Cody Clemens. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to the second baseman. Throw to first in time, fielded by Mastroboni. And now that is going to retire the side as the Mariners have a nice, easy 1-2-3 inning. We go to the bottom of the second inning. It is 4-0 Mariners.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
Tired today.
As soon as I can get more people onto the chat, I will show off the. You know what? I'll do it next inning, but I am really bored, and I really do want to play the immaculate baseball game that Jay Trident podcast showed me last week.
Where y'all go? Don't yoga. Where are the goats? No goats. Goats.
Ichiro again.
Junior.
Goat's name is Junior.
You shared membership with your mom so she could share with you. Easy. USA. Check if you're eligible today.
Be right here at T-Mobile.
And we are back from the break.
Monday, Tuesday, through Wednesday the 18th. Mariners.com/tickets. Well, Mastroboni leads things off.
And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball.
8-9-1 for the Mariners. A couple of home runs in the first inning for the Ends. Cal Raleigh, a 3-run shot, and then
Now we're at 1-0 for Miles Mastroboni, the pitch, and that's going to be in there for a strike. And it seems that my decision to put in Matthews did not age well at all, as I gave up 4 runs already. And a pitch. Up high for a ball, 2-1 for Miles Mastroboni.
Boney coming up with his first home run as the Mariner, the second of his career on the last road trip. Came in Houston.
And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2 for Mastroboni. I have Bryce Miller available tomorrow, so I will have to drop someone. That'll be really nice because I am due. But I will have to drop someone tomorrow. It's batting .239 month of May, the pitch, and that's going to be swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Mastroboni. And now we've got 1 out. And next batter is going to be Ben Williamson. At least that gets me a strikeout in fantasy baseball, so I won't complain too much. Ben Williamson batting .254. Now the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. Ben Williamson batting .254 with 1 home run and 13 RBIs.
They are just 1 game over 500 here at T-Mobile Park now. They've dropped their last 3 series.
And the pitch. Up high for a ball. Twins on the road are 12-17, while the Mariners are 14-13 at home. And the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Pretty questionable call. Even the ABS would tell you that it was a bit off. 1 out and nobody on. 1-2 for Ben Williamson.
So the numbers offensively this month, in comparison to April, the Mariners still top 10 in baseball in runs.
Now the pitch. Outside for a ball. That is now 2-2 for Ben Williamson.
You and I were talking prior to
And the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3, and down goes Ben Williamson. And now we're at the top of the lineup. That's going to be J.P. Crawford.
really off the underlying numbers of lines. You're averaging that number.
And next inning, I'm going to play the Immaculate Grid.
You think about in April, high walk rate in baseball. In May, 16.
Now, here's Crawford. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Showing Leody Taveras and Randy Arozarena. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball, 2-0. J.P. Crawford did single. It was actually left field right over Carlos Correa. Led to the home run by Cal Raleigh. Now the 2-0. And it's up high for a ball again. 3-0 for J.P. Crawford. He's having a little bit of a better game than he did yesterday. I mean, he's already better because he got the hit. And that's going to be right in there for a strike. 3-1.
Your slugging percentage for the Mariners that is this month 25th in baseball compared to 8th.
The pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. And now, after a 3-0 head start, he is now down to a 3-2.
We didn't know that Cal would hit another 10 home runs. Amazing. It's over
Now we're at 3-2. And now the pitch.
2 months.
And that's going to be a foul ball.
I think the improvement that we've seen from Cal on both sides of the plate, even more so right-handed, his ability to barrel up the ball. Number 1 in hard hit rates and barrels from the right side in the American League.
Now we're at 3-2.
He had the power from the left side as well, but the other day he hit that one of the upper.
We're at 3-2. Now the pitch. Now here's a liner to left field, more like a bloop, and that is going to be another base hit for J.P. Crawford. And now he's got 2 hits.
Here's Polanco.
Jorge Polanco is now up to the plate.
What do you think JP's exit velocity have been on the first 2 hits? But he's 2 for 2. Line drives in the book.
Now we're at the pitch. Now here it is. Now here's a liner. Oh, caught by the third baseman, and that is going to retire the side. No runs, 1 hit, and 1 man left on. Mariners are going to go. We're going to go into the top of the 3rd inning. And now I'm going to play this game called the Immaculate Grid because I am just bored out of my mind. I just want to play. And here is that game. And here we are. So how this game works is players must have played in the regular season or playoff game for that team to qualify. All right. So whoever played for the Rangers and the Nationals. Oh, let's do this one. Josh. I'll do Josh Hamilton on this one. Wow, he's actually very well known. So that was not a good score on that one. And now Texas Rangers and the Washington Nationals. Oh, I got one. Alfonso Soriano. Okay, little numbers could be better. Phillies and the Texas Rangers. Who played for the Phillies and the Texas Rangers together? That's what I would like to know. He pitched 1 game. I'm going to call this Robert Person. Yeah, who would have known that? Outfield. Oh, Lenny Dykstra. Wow, he's actually somewhat known. Outfield for the Nationals, Bryce Harper would be way too well known. pitched one game. Let's try Levon Hernandez. Okay, that was pretty good. Oh, I got one. Scott Schillenwise, because who in the heck is going to know that exactly? And we are back from the break. I'll continue that game eventually. Now here is Royce Lewis, and now here it is. And that's going to be low for a ball.
Lewis, the former #1 overall pick by Minnesota back in 2017.
Now the 1-0 pitch. Check swing, did he go? He does not go. It's going to be 2-0. Royce Lewis was actually a former #1 overall pick. And now the pitch. Now here's a foul ball.
You know, he's the story of a guy who was kind of like Byron Buxton, actually. When is that a 7?
Royce Lewis, he has been picking up just a little bit. He had a good season in 2023, but he was injured, it looked like. He's had some very up and down seasons, to say the least. Now the 2-1. 2 balls and a strike. And that's going to be popped up, should be playable. It's going to be Ben Williamson. He calls it. And he's got it. That's going to be 1 out. Willie Castro's now up to the plate. Now here's Willie Castro. And the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to J.P. Crawford. Toss over the first. That's in time. And Castro actually hustled that one. Reflect the Sun. How's it going? Surprised you here. I expected you to be with Northwest Sports Fanatics, but I appreciate your presence, and I always will. Never put it to waste. And also, I'm playing the Immaculate Grid baseball game. So stay tuned for that commercial break. Now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike for Byron Buxton. As we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 1-1. And now here's the pitch. Outside for a ball. That's going to be 2-1. Now we're at 2-1. And now the 2-1 pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Masterboni. Throw to first in time. And that's going to be another 1-2-3 inning for the Mariners. And now I am going straight into the Immaculate Grid. And let's see if I can finish this. And don't help me on this one because I got to finish it myself. Whoever played outfield in one game or who played? No.
We told people Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
I'm just gonna do Darren.
Only pay for what you need.
Darren Erstad. And then whoever played outfield for one game. I know I'm thinking of Bryce Harper, but I don't really want to, but I feel like I have no choice but to do it. Bryce Harper, I'm too lazy. It's gonna kill me. Only 11%. That's really surprising. That's what he's most known for. Okay. Juan Soto would have been too well known. And now Phillies and the Rangers. Who played on the Phillies and the Texas Rangers on a team together? Can't even think of one. Definitely not Kurt Schilling, although he played for the Phillies. Trying to think who would have been Phillies and the Rangers. Can't really think of one. Think about hitting the give up button. And looks like we are back from the break. And I am going to hit the give up button. And let's see who it was. It would have been basically no one I could have thought of. None of these guys. Cliff Lee, maybe. Kenny Lofton. Kevin Millwood. Now we got Randy. Oh, so it's going to be Julio Rodriguez up to the plate as we are back from the break. Mariners are now leading at 4-0. And that's going to be a swing and a miss. And that is going to be an 0-2 count on Julio Rodriguez. And I will play a new game because I do like the game. It's really fun. I'll do another interesting one real soon. As we're at 0-2 for Julio Rodriguez. And now the pitch. Way outside for a ball. That's going to be 1-2. Julio's been batting .267 with 6 home runs and 18 RBIs. As we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball to left field, and that is going to be a base hit. And that will get Julio on to first base. And now we got Cal Raleigh up to the plate, who has previously hit a home run. If he hits another home run, he will lead the majors in home runs in the season. And also, remember, my goal on these shows are $50 in a day. If you can help me get that, be very appreciated. Now here is Cal Raleigh up to the plate. Now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. He had a 3-run home run in the first inning. And he has a chance to really extend this lead, as the Mariners will have to. As we're at 0-1 for the big dumper. And now the pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is going to be 0-2. 3 catchers in Major League history with 4 20-plus seasons in their first 5 seasons. Campanella, Cal Raleigh, and Mike Piazza. Pretty good company to join for the Cal Raleigh. Now we're at 0-2 for the big dumper. Cal Raleigh, the best catcher in baseball, as they say, the 0-2. Low for a ball, and I wonder if Julio could have stole on that one. I'm looking forward to the Immaculate Grid for the next game, I think. I think this one I might have a little bit more fun, but I'm not sure. I guess we'll see. Now we're at 1-2 for Cal Raleigh. And now the pitch. Low for a ball. Oh, he does go around. That's going to be strike 3. Why is Brian Rosarena wearing a really big necklace? It's really stupid. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up to right field. And the right field is going to be there. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs.
I'm just thinking, like, as you're running, if it comes up and hits your teeth.
There's a lot of things I wouldn't do with that necklace on.
Now here's Rowdy Tellez up to the plate. And now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to right field, more like a pop-up. And he's going to be there. And he makes the catch. And that is going to retire the side. But nothing happened. Now it's time for the immaculate game again, which I really do enjoy. And here it is. All right. For Houston and St. Louis, I will put in Lance Berkman. Wow, that's actually very well known. Yeesh. Not good start right there. Cleveland and San Diego. Can't even think of one. San Diego and Kansas City. Very interesting combination. Cleveland and Houston. Let's see. Who would it be for Cleveland? Did Joe Carter ever hit 300? He actually did. All right. Who hit 300 with the Cardinals? Stan Musial probably seems too well known. Ozzie Smith, I'm not going to take I'm going to do Stan Musial. Actually pretty well known. I'll do Johnny Damon. It's actually a pretty good guess. Now, Kansas City and Houston. I don't know who's done Kansas City and Houston combination. Oh, I got one. Carlos Beltran. And that is a pretty big number. San Diego. Oh, I got one. Andy Bennis. Yeah. Now I just need 3 more guesses. Josh, stop it. Be quiet. And hey, Josh, how's it going? Thanks for you to be on this show. And we are back from the break, and we got Brian Wu pitching. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball drilled to right field. Forget about that one. That is a solo home run for the Twins, and the Twins get on the board. That is Trevor with the home run, his 8th home run of the season, and that ball was an absolute laser. And it's now the Mariners 4 and the Twins 1, and that literally just left the field real quickly. I cannot believe what I just saw. And he literally, yeah, that was just beautifully hit. It did get out of the ballpark really quickly. Here's Jeffers up, Ryan Jeffers up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Now we're at 0-1 for Ryan Jeffers. And now the pitch up high for a ball. That is going to be 1-1. You see that home run by Ford last night? That was insane. It was insane. How they not called? What's more insane, they haven't called him up yet. And now the pitch. Now here's a line drive to left field, and that is going to drop in for a base hit. We are talking extra runs, and Randy Arozarena, why aren't you hustling? Wow. You just gave up. Or Cole Young. It's insane that both of them are not even playing for the Mariners right now. It's absolutely insane. It's like, why are they even not even bothering? Like, we have clear struggles on this offense, and you got to take the risk with the prospects that the Mariners have. And they have really good prospects. Carlos Correa is now up to the plate, and this is where things can get very dangerous, and things can change really, really fast. And now here is Carlos Correa and the pitch. And that is going to be way outside for a ball. That chain was too heavy. It was too heavy. He's got to take that chain off. Pitchers struggle when they had leads. Yep. And now here's a pitch. Now here's a fly ball belted to, nope, not really. Leody Taveras makes the catch. And now here's going to be a tagging. Yep, he tags in the throw to third, not in time. And now that's going to be 1 out. And let me see who is next up to the plate. That's going to be Lee. You know what I would do? Let's do the intentional walk to get to Ty France because he is known to hit into double plays. Let's do the intentional walk. Intentionally walk Lee to get to France for a potential double play. Let's make it happen. And they're not going to do it, aren't they? They're not going to do it. And they really should be doing it. You know that Ty France hits in the double plays all the time, right? Nope. Not going to do it, aren't they? If they score, it's going to be because of that, of not doing it. Oh, low for a ball. Yep. Might as well just walk him. You're already down with a 1-0 count so far. Now we're at 1-0 for Lee, and now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and the runner is going to score. Goes to first, and that's going to be in time. But a runner does score, and again, why didn't you intentionally walk? You could have got Ty France into a double play. Yes, can we please fire Jerry and hire Theo Epstein? Yup. Knowing our luck, France would hit a home run. Yeah, I guess you make some kind of a point. But you never know. It would have been good to take that chance. I would have taken that chance. Now here's Ty France up to the plate. The former Mariner. And now the pitch. Oh, inside, and that nearly got him. Now we're at 1-0. Now the pitch. That's going to be a foul back, strike 1. And Josh says, one thing I try to do with the Immaculate Grid is to get super loose percentage. With the lowest I ever got was, yeah, I'm playing that game too. I don't even get with the lead why the infield doesn't play to prevent that run. That could make a difference. Yup. They were playing very lax with no urgency. As we're at 1-1 for Ty France. Now the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. Now we're at 2-1 for Ty France. And now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball, line drive right field, and that is going to be a base hit. And now Ty France is at first base, gets a base hit for the Twins.
Well, this is a Ty France that we Macker fans grew to love. That pitch is off the plate, hits it right off the end of the bat, shoots it out there to right field. When he's at his best, he's hitting the ball foul line to foul line.
And now we got Clemens up to the plate. He's batting 0 for 1 so far. And the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1 for Clemens as he is 0 for 1. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Brian Wu. Toss over the first. And that is in time. And that is going to retire the side. But the Twins come up with those 2 runs. And now we've got the Immaculate Grid back in business. Let's play this game. I really love this game. All right, let's see what I can do. Cleveland and Houston. Where can I get that combination? I honestly don't know. I'm like really blanked on this one. San Diego and Cleveland. I am also Ellis Burks, maybe? No. Kansas City and San Diego. I am also blanked on that one. I got nothing. I really got nothing. I think I'm going to give up. Yeah, I gave up on this one. Now let's see what I could have gotten out of Cleveland and San Diego. Logan Allen, Roberto Alomar, did not know that. Josh Bell, Joey Cora. I could have picked Joey Cora. San Diego and Kansas City. Who did I get? Or should have I gotten? Chris Gwynn. Yeah, who's that? Yeah. Not Miguel Olivo. How was I supposed to know? Cleveland and Houston. Buddy Bell, Aaron Boone. Didn't know that. Pat Borders. Yeah. How could have I guessed? You were at the Cubs game today. Absolute snooze fest of a game. Sounds like a lot of fun. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. And there's Leody Taveras, who was 0 for 1. Now the pitch. Big swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike 2. Now we're at 0-2. For Taveras. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and that will get me a strikeout for my fantasy team. And now we've got 1 out. And it's getting really toasty in my room, so I'm going to open the window. It's very toasty. Just need some cool air inside. And now next up to the plate is going to be Miles Mastrobuoni, and now here's a fly ball foul. Wonder if I can get anything out of this immaculate grid. I think I might be able to get this one. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. Now the pitch. Low for a ball. That's going to be 2-1. As we're at 2-1 for Miles Mastrobuoni. And the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to right center field. It might still be going. And that is going to be caught with a nice leaping catch. And I think that was Byron Buxton who makes the catch. And that is going to be 2 outs. And now they're going to be calling for that marine layer complaint. Didn't prevent a home run, but he definitely prevented extra bases. And now it's going to be Ben Williamson to try to keep this inning alive. Ben Williamson will take it for a ball. And the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. It's going to be 1-1.
Great talents. He's been so hampered so many seasons by injury. Incredible athlete. Prime, just the great
and next pitch, and here it is, and that's going to be strike 2.
When Junior was coming up, I remember guys were talking to him about.
Now we're at 1-2 for Williamson, the pitch. And now here's a ground ball right to the second baseman, throw to first in time, and talk about a 1-2-3 inning for the Twins. And now we're going to go to the immaculate grid. All right, here we go. Here's a new one. 30 pitch saves. I'm going to go with Billy Koch. Yep. Oh, Billy Koch actually had 6%. Maybe I should have gone with Keith Folk or something. 30+ saves for the Blue Jays. Who would have been a 30 save guy? Oh, man, I burned it on Keith Folk. I could use Keith Folk and Billy Koch. I'm such an idiot. Who was a first-round pick who had a 30+ save? Mariano Rivera, was he a first-round pick? Obviously not. Played right field for one game. Jeremy. Let's go with Jeremy Giambi. Yeah, a little bit known. Right field. Joe Carter. Didn't he play right field for a game sometime? Yep, he did, but it's kind of well known. Right field, first round pick. I'll just go with Jared Kelnick. I'm just lazy. Oh, actually, it was pretty good. Now let's go with A's. Oh, maybe this can work. I'm thinking about Troy Gloss. Yeah, I got Troy Gloss in there. Now, Arizona and the A's. Where would I know that? First round pick in Arizona. Can't say Drew Jones. And we are back from the break. Sing along fireworks night on Friday the 13th. Don't go to a game on Friday the 13th. I'll tell you that. It's like Brian Wu's having an issue with his fingernail. Yeah, Teresa K, you do feel deceived, don't you? And I just want to say also, thank you very much for being a member of my channel. Anyone who wants to join, it'll just be just $5 a month. You'll get my fantasy football, baseball diary, and content for my upcoming church softball league. I'll be very excited for that. And now here's the Brian Wu's taking some practice pitches. And until then, I think I'm going to keep playing that immaculate game. What we got? First round pick, Diamondbacks. I'm pretty much hopeless on that. I mean, who's a 30+ save guy with the Blue Jays? Who am I gonna know? All right, I'm done. I'm not gonna bother. It's a waste of my time. Okay, who could have I gotten out of this one? Jack Cust, former Mariner. Adam Dunn, even. Jose Guillen. Damian Miller. Yeah, I would not. That would have been far off for me. Arizona and first round picks. Jay Bell, AJ Pollock. Who would have known? And we are back from the break again. Royce Lewis up to the plate. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to JP Crawford. Should be easy play. Throw to first in time. And that's going to be one out. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. Now we're at 1-0. And now the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. 1-0 or 2-0 or 1-1. What am I saying? As for saves for 30+ in first round, David Ardsma, Billy Wagner, Todd Jones. How was I supposed to know? And now the pitch. And that's going to be check swing. Did he go? He did not. That's going to be 2-1. Now we're at 2-1 for Castro, Willie Castro. And now the pitch. And that's going to be missing it for a ball. It's going to be 3-1 for Castro. And looks like the struggles are really showing for Bryan Woo. And I do believe that I think he may get pulled real soon. I think he'll get pulled after this inning. As we're at 3-1, he's not looking good at all with that pain on his fingernail. And those hurt. 3-1. And that is ball 4, take your base. And I think if he can't get out of this inning, I think Dan Wilson's going to pull him. I mean, he did get the one out, but it looks like that nail is really hurting him. It looks like Cal Raleigh's going to have a word with him.
We will have the entire fireworks show for your post game on Sports. One out of the 4, top of the order here is Buxton.
Here's Byron Buxton up to the plate. He's the leadoff hitter. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. And Byron Buxton has some really long careers, but he's unfortunately been just killed by injuries throughout his entire career. Other than that, he has been a fantastic baseball player. It's just that he just can't stay healthy. Now we're at 1-0, the pitch. That is inside for a ball. That is 2-0 for Byron Buxton. Now we're at 2-0. And a throw to first. And it's not in time. Byron Buxton is 0 for 2. And the pitch. Inside for a ball, 3-0. And I think that the bullpen is going to have to get some activity because Bryan Woo is just not looking the same at all with that busted nail of his. I think Dan Wilson's going to pull him out, and he may have to. I don't like that idea, but he is clearly in pain. As now we're at 3-0 for Byron Buxton. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He's still able to throw a 96-mile-an-hour fastball, though. But on the other hand, he is kind of hurting right now.
Only season so far with 20 homers. He had 28 that year.
And now we're at 3-1. It's going to be a ground ball foul. And it looks like Cal Raleigh is a little bit shaken up at the moment.
The inside of his right ankle. This time, right on the quad. It's going to probably have some nice color tomorrow. It kind of feels like you get hit by a hammer, right? Just imagine your son.
Now we're at 3-2. Let's hope he can get him out, or at least pitch into a double play, maybe. And now the pitch. And it's going to be popped up and fouled.
Championship game. Oh, Little League Championship tomorrow. Big stuff. Big day. Big day. I think they have a professional announcer coming out to do the.
Now we're at 3-2 for Byron Buxton. And now the pitch. Oh, and I think, luckily it's a foul ball. Bailed out by the bat. But he is not looking good.
Other two-seamer just running up and in. Very uncomfortable for a hitter. Hit the knob of the bat.
Now we're at 3-2 for Byron Buxton. The longtime Minnesota Twin, unfortunately, with a lot of injury problems. Now the 3-2. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field, but Tavares should be there. And he makes the catch, and that is going to be 2 outs. And now Trevor Lamock is going to be up to the plate, who hit the 2-run home run yesterday, and he could do it again. If he does it again, it will be a tie ball game. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. It's going to be 0-1 for Trevor Larnach. It's going to be top of the 5th inning. Game's kind of been breezing along as we're at 0-1, trying to get this 3rd out of the inning. And now the pitch. Check swing that he did not go. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be missing it for a ball. And Brian Woo's pitches are going up a bit in this inning. That's 67 pitches right now. He's been pitching quite a bit in this inning. Nearly walked Byron Buxton. And he walked his first batter. Now we're at 2-1 for Larnach in the pitch. And it's going to be a foul ball, strike 2. Now we're at 2-2. Looking at 2-2. And now the pitch. Here's going to be a ground ball right to Brian Woo. He has it. Throw to first. And that's going to be in time. And that is going to retire the side. We go into the next inning. Due up is J.P. Crawford, Julio Rodriguez, and then Polanco and Julio Rodriguez.
We're making half pineapple, half tiki with barbecue chicken. You put the garlic. Put the pineapple on the whole pizza. Remember, they want half pineapple, and the one is going to be tiki. Tiki tiki with pineapple, garlic, feta cheese, artichoke hearts, and the chicken. And we're gonna spread some barbecue on top. And it's ready. Put it on the oven. Let it run.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
All right, I'm back. Let's do this again. Nope, let's not do this again. But yes, we are back from the break.
Front row at Edgar's Court, right above the head-operated scoreboard in left field. It's a nice spot out there. Very cool. Great view, lots of space. Great place to have a.
Now here's J.P. Crawford. Now the pitch. Outside for a ball. Matthews have seemed to settle down after giving up 4 runs in the first inning. Matthews has 4 strikeouts. And now the pitch. Inside for a ball. That is going to be a 2-0 count. And the pitch again. Outside for a ball. 3-0 for J.P. Crawford. And the pitch again. Ball 4. Take your base. Now here's Jorge Polanco up to the plate. He is 1 for 2. Hit a base hit, which led to the home run. And that's going to be a strike. As we're at 0-1 for Polanco. Batting .270 with 10 home runs, the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Josh, what are you laughing at? Now we're at 0-2. Now the pitch. And there's a little bit of a pitch out, and that's going to be 1-2 for Jorge Polanco. Now we're at 1-2. And the pitch. Way outside for a ball. That's going to be 2-2. Two and two. The pitch. It's gonna be popped up. And makes the catch. And that is gonna be gonna be 1 out. Be right back for a moment. Here's Julio, and that's going to be a foul ball. Yep, need 4 runs. Now we're at 0-1 for Julio. Now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, double play ball. Throw to second and the throw to first. That's going to be in time for the double play. And Julio once again shows his lack of hustle. And we're going to go into the next inning. And let's play the immaculate game, shall we? I'm going to say Tim Lincecum. Not Tim Lincecum? Really? That's embarrassing. How did that not happen? I thought Tim Lincecum was a 40+. Yeah, obviously Barry Bonds, only 14%. Who would not guess Barry Bonds and the Giants together? Wow. All-star with a +40 WAR. Edgar Martinez. Oh, yeah. Oh, get this one. Jose Offerman. He actually was an all-star. 2000. What do I know? David Ortiz. I don't think Nomar ever got 2000. Ted Williams. I'm too lazy. I'm just going to say Ted Williams. It's too common. And Giants and Boston.
Our own future is at stake. So ask yourself, how can we contribute to protecting all life on our planet? Because the future is in our hands.
Pirates, the Giants, man, I am just blanked. Oh, I'm going to try Jason Schmidt. Oh, I actually got Jason Schmidt in there. Just going to do Roberto Clemente. Too obvious. Brian Giles.
Just good fundamentals. He's a fantastic athlete, former shortstop.
And by the way, we are back from the break.
Put on about 10 pounds of muscle this offseason. It was
Got Jeffers up to the plate. And now the pitch. That's going to be in there for a strike. Hopefully Polanco can start hitting again. Of course he pops out. Yep. Now we're at 0-1 and the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to right field and Tavares is going to go. Oh, he makes the catch. He made the catch and now that's going to be one out. And that's going to take some time because I'm going to get something. Be right back. Now here's Carlos Correa. And now the pitch. Inside for a ball.
When you start slashing the ball down the line, it's got a little bit more movement running away from you.
Now we're at 1-0.
Well, now nobody on Carlos Correa, the batter.
Now the pitch. Up high for a ball.
About how to keep his body right for the long season. If there's anybody who would know a thing or two about that, it would be Cal Raleigh. With nutrition, when to exercise, how much to lift during the season. And for everybody, it's going to be a little bit different. Right?
Now we're at 2-0 for Carlos Correa. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike one. And I do think that this could be Brian Woo's last inning. I'd be surprised if it's not. Considering how much he's kind of in pain with a bad nail. And we're at 2-1. And now here's a 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be popped up. And here's Cal Raleigh. And he makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs.
It's hard to actually keep weight on during the season. All right, so we all know about Cal Raleigh and all the home runs he did against the Blue Jays, right? He's a one-man wrecking crew against Toronto a couple of years ago. I asked Cal, and I knew he wasn't going to have an answer. I had to ask him, hey, what's the home runs against the Blue Jays? Is there a reason for this? And we all know this is a baseball thing, right? You can't explain a lot of this stuff.
And now the pitch. And that's going to be a liner and fouled.
And then he waited for a second. He said, well, we'll say. I want to know what he needs up in Toronto. The hotel we stay at in Toronto, he said, the best chicken fingers I've ever had.
And now we're at 0-1 for Brooks Lee. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled.
You're not actually serious. He said, no. Dead serious. Best chicken fingers I've ever had. Does he have them for breakfast?
Best chicken fingers, huh? Oh, Jordan's coming back? Well, that's good for my fantasy baseball team because I desperately need him back. Now the 0-2. And that's going to be up high for a ball. And that's going to be 1-2. Now we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field, and that is going to be a base hit.
If you eat a certain meal at a certain restaurant and you go to the ballpark that night and you get 3 knocks and a couple of balls out of the park, guess where you're eating tomorrow? The same place. I'm surprised you just didn't, I know, DoorDash. I mean, I don't want to taste them because he's telling me that they are the best chicken fingers I'll ever have.
Now we're at 1-2 for Ty France, and now the pitch. That's gonna be popped up and fouled.
I think that based on down south, a little biscuit gravy. I think he's got a pretty experienced chicken finger palate. Something to be proud of, by the way.
Now we're at 0-1. Now the pitch. Now it's gonna be popped up, and that should do it. And JP makes the catch, and that is going to retire the side. And now need another commercial break.
Senor, tell me how you make a thin crust Sahara pizza.
With your hands. Cornmeal.
Hello, baseball fans. I'm excited to announce that we are still offering 50% off pizza and 25% off bowling Monday and Tuesdays. Head on over to Snoqualmie Sahara Pizza. This deal will go through May.
And that's how you make a Sahara pizza. Beautiful thing.
Oreo cookies or Pop Tarts pieces. That's kind of genius, actually. For a fresh way to Frosty, gotta be Wendy's.
A dad's work is never done. Why the Home Depot has Father's Day gifts for every day. From ties, to tools, to tech, to something to enjoy together. No matter what.
Let's play that game again.
You keep making that face, it's gonna stay like that.
All right. Oh, this game's already over. Okay, who could have I gotten for Boston and the Rob Beck, Ellis Burke? Yeah, I was doomed. I wasn't going to get anyone on this one. No. 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 And now the pitch to Cal Raleigh. It's going to be outside for a ball. I think that's Josh probably responding to it. And now the pitch inside for a ball. You should try a challenge. You should try a challenge only Mariner players. Well, that's not going to work. How's that going to work? Now the pitch. You're going to get some wrong. I want to get them right. I got a new one that could work with me. We'll see. Now we're at 2-1 for Cal Raleigh. And the pitch. Inside for a ball, 3-1. No, I don't want to just play with Mariners. I want to do this out of my brain, man. Just the brain. I don't want to cheat. Now we're at 3-1, and now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Strike two. Full count 3-2 for Cal Raleigh. And now we're at full count. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a fly ball to right field. More like the second base. And Ty France makes the catch. Now here's a Rosarena. And that is going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1. Oh, inside. That nearly got him. And that is going to be a 1-1 count.
got 6 already here. We're not even in the
Now we're at 1-1.
And Cal has more stolen bases this year than you had.
And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike.
Yes, I'm a little annoyed that it got the red light. You were just too valuable.
And the 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Hit the dirt. And the catcher's kind of just trolling him. That was a really bad swing by Randy Arozarena. It's like, why even bother? Might as well get ready for the immaculate game.
The strike zone. Because it's over the cylinder, guys start their swing or unable to hold up. 2 outs, and
Here's Rowdy Tellez, the pitch. And that's going to be a strike.
Stolen bases this year are the utter surprise that you were trying to have in your career.
That's going to be low for a ball. 1-1 to count. And the 1-1. It's going to be a foul ball.
So the thing is, most pitchers, when he gets on first base, they're not even sure thinking that he's going to be running. I mean, at some point they will, right?
It's going to be 1-2 on Rowdy Tellez. And the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 1-2 for Rowdy. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and I just could not wait to get to this game. We're going to go to the top of the 7th inning, and it's time to play the Immaculate Grid. All right. I got Carlos Pena on this one. 10%. Ouch. And then I'm going to do Juan Gonzalez. 4%. Not bad. I'm going to say Brandon Inge. Okay. I'm just really lazy. I'm going to do Chipper Jones. Yeah, 27%. Yeah, that's going to wreck you. The Braves. I think Kevin Millwood. Okay. I'm going to do Leote. No. Evan Carter. No. Yeah, Evan Carter. Yeah. Oh, this one's easy. Dylan Moore. No, let's do Rich Amaral. Oh, yeah, baby. Rich Amaral. Look at that. 0.05. Center field for Tampa. Randy Arozarena. And now Tampa and the Braves. Who has had that combination? I really wouldn't know that combination very well. Who played for Tampa and Atlanta? Does anyone know? Yeah, I give up. I don't care. All right, who could have I done? Norm Charlton? I could have done Norm Charlton? Out of all people, I could have done Norm Charlton and Alex Jackson. When you say do Mariners, you say do the Mariners. And we're back from the break, by the way. And the pitch. And Brian Woo's still pitching. You got to give it to Brian Woo. Give him a lot of credit that he is still willing to fight this off, especially with a bad nail. Now we're looking at next pitch, and it's going to be the 0-1. It's going to be way outside for a ball 1-1. Matt Brash is coming out in the bullpen. Be a good thing. Could be a good setup guy for Andres Munoz. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike.
6 innings. Zach Wheeler and Paul Skeens. He's done it 10 times. Pretty good company. One of the more amazing things.
Now we're at 1-2 for Clemens.
6 and 7 innings. He has given up no runs, 6 hits, and has 24 strikeouts.
And the pitch. Oh, that nearly hit him, and that's going to be 2-2.
2 strikes to Clemens.
Now we're at 2-2 for Clemens.
Nothing quite like finishing strong. Here's a 2.
And the 2-2. Low for a ball. 3-2.
We're working with a 2-run lead to begin the 7th inning.
Now we're at 3-2. And the pitch. That's going to be popped up. And Williamson, could he be there? Nope, not going to happen. Man, I really want to do that next. I'm really looking forward to doing the next game, the next set of immaculate grids, but I got to do the 7th inning stretch, so I don't know. Now we're at 3-2 for Brian Wu. And now the 3-2. Now here's a ground ball right to second baseman Mastroboni. Second to first in time, and that's going to be 1 out. And while there's a little bit of a break going on, let's play the immaculate grid really quick. I've got this one I got. Jimmy Keys. Yep, Jimmy Key, that will do it. So there's one. And don't give anything away. Royce Lewis is now up to the plate. Now here's the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Yeah, don't. Okay, who would you have for Baltimore and the Yankees combination? As we're at 0-1, and now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. We're at 0-2 for Lewis. Brian Wu's been pitching mostly fastballs and mostly sinkers. So basically 75%. Now we're at 0-2. And now here's the pitch. And that is going to be outside for a ball. Well, thanks for giving that away, Buster. Thanks for ruining it for me, buddy. Come on, man. As we're at 1-2 for Lewis. Now the 1-2 pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Ben Williamson. Throw to first. And that's going to be 2 outs. And let's go to the immaculate grid again. Well, I'm not going to use Garrett Cole because you ruined it for me, Buster. All right. Who do I got for... Oh, Eric Karros. Eric Karros? How do you spell Eric Karros?
Keeping that ball inside the glove.
I got Eric Karros. There we go. And that's going to be a foul ball for Willie Castro. Yeah, Garrett Cole would probably be way too much into the tops. Probably not even worth mentioning it anyway. As we're at 0-1 for Castro. And now the pitch. And that's going to be outside for a ball. We're now at 1-1 for Castro. And now we are looking at the 1-1 pitch. Now here's a fly ball drilled to right field. And Taveras is there. Does he? No, he doesn't make the catch. And that is going to be, I believe, a home run. And it is a home run for Willie Castro. And the Mariners are now kind of slipping it away. And the Twins will bring it to with a 1-run lead. And this is just getting very, very dangerous. It's just flying away really fast. Oh my goodness. Taveras just cannot field worth a you-know-what. He should have gotten that one. He's just not good at it. He had it lined up. He wasn't even looking. By the way, for Cubs and Baltimore combination, I'll do Palmeiro. Rafael Palmeiro. I could have done... Yep, and that's going to be it. Dan Wilson has seen enough, and Brian Wu is kind of steaming at himself. But hey, he's got a chance to play some immaculate grids. I got Rafael Palmeiro up there. 100 RBI. Albert Bell? I got Albert Bell. That was 1999 Albert Bell. I'm thinking of Adrian Beltre. I don't know if that's going to be obscure enough. I don't know about Kirk Gibson. Mike Piazza's too obvious. Sean Green. Not Shane Green. Sean. Yeah, Sean Green. Yeah, I think that was pretty obscure.
The guy sitting next to your girl on a kiss cam. This game just got a lot more interesting.
All right, 100 RBI. Oh, Richard Hidalgo. Had a very short career, too. Cubs and the Astros. Yankees and the Dodgers. Oh, here's a cool one. I'm too lazy for it. Ricky Henderson. Who would have thought of that combo? Yankees and the Astros. Yep, that's going to be it. Wow, he had 95 pitches, but they just pulled him out, Teresa. And we are back from the break. Matt Brash is going to be the pitcher. Hopefully, and the Mariners are going to need some insurance runs. Like, there is no doubt about that one for sure.
With a 0 ERA over 7 innings. In his last outing, he was nasty. That Slaughter was in full force.
And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. And I think that was a slider by Matt Brash. It was a very nice one, if that's what it was. That was a slider. I was right. Now we're at 0-1 for Byron Buxton. The pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. And let's keep playing. You got Cubs and the Astros. Who would be Cubs and Astros? I'm lazy. No, let's do this. Isaac Paredes. And check swing. Did he go? He did not go. Isaac Paredes. Yeah, that was a good guess. Didn't go through. Now Yankees and the Astros. The pitch. Check swing. Did he go? Come on, umpire. Don't you want to go home? Brian Wu is actually really pissed right now. Brian Wu is not happy about that one. Oh, and he actually did go through. He did go through that one. And now the pitch. And it's going to be outside for a ball. 3-2. Full count 3-2. This is not good. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball right to Ben Williamson. Good stop. Throw to first. And that is in time. And the Mariners get out of this inning. But it did come with a home run. Oh, Cole Young got pulled from the game today, didn't he? Very interesting. But let's get into the 7th inning stretch. Take me out to the ball game. Take me out to the crowd. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jacks. I don't care if I ever get back, so let's root for the Mariners. If they don't win, it's a shame. It would be a shame because they had a 4-0 lead. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes, you're out at the old ball game. Now it's time for the Louie Louie. Up, 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 oh, no, we gotta go. Yeah. Louie. Oh, we gotta go. A fine little girl, she waiting for me. And catch a ship. Yeah, I'm done. It looks like, according to Twitter, it said Cole Young giving hugs. It is debut time. Mariners make it happen. It looks like it may just happen at the Rangers game tonight, and Cole Young was just pulled in the 4th inning. So it looks like a call-up is going to happen for Cole Young. But Jerry Dipoto, you a-hole, why didn't you put him up here today? Arg! Anyways, by the way, I figured out the combination. I'm going to put in Andy Pettitte because who's going to guess Andy Pettitte played for the Houston Astros? Yep, I did it all right. That was a pretty good score. Rarity of 41. What do you say to that, Josh? And now I got Leody Taveras, and the Mariners have really got to put in some runs. Oh, Belch. But here's the thing. They gotta be able to they have to be able to perform. That's the problem. Thoughts on the removal of the tax of the blue pill chew? I don't know. Missing Paul Sewald? I would be too. I think that was my best performance by far. Now here's Miles Mastroboni up to the plate. And now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Cole Sands in the bullpen. But Mariners have got to do some stuff. And that's going to be a strike. And surprisingly, that Matthews is still pitching. He's at 88 pitches so far. He's actually pitched very well since the 4 runs that he gave up. Now we're looking at 0-2 for Zebby Matthews. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. We're looking at 0-2. Now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a ball. That's going to be 1-2. The 1-2. It's going to be a ground ball right to Matthews. That's going to be about, that is going to be 2 outs. I'm looking at the immaculate grid. Oh boy, this one's going to be a tough one. Now here's Ben Williamson up to the plate. And the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. We're at 0-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. 0-2. Here's Ben Williamson. He is 0 for 2 thus far. And the pitch. And he swings and misses, and that's going to be a toss over the first in time. And now going to go to the immaculate grid once again as we go into the top of the 8th inning. Mariners just barely hanging on 4-3. Now 200 plus wins and 2,000 career strikeouts. MVP, I'll put in Steve Carlton. How did Steve? Oh my God. Okay, I'm getting desperate. Randy Johnson. Nolan Ryan, because I'm lazy at this point. Or let's do Walter Johnson. Threw a no-hitter. Nolan Ryan. Yeah, that's too obvious. Cy Young and Felix Hernandez. Wow, that was a pretty small number. Cy Young and MVP. Who has done that before? Cy Young? Nope. Who was a Cy Young? Robbie Ray. Yeah, no one would have guessed that. Threw a no-hitter. Who do I got on this one? Threw a no-hitter and MVP. This is a tough one. Sandy Koufax. And MVPs, these are insane. Yeah, I'm not going to do this. Dylan Moore is taking over at second base. It's only a one-run game thus far. Now here's Carlos Vargas, and now the pitch. Wait, why did you take out Carlos Vargas? Matt Brash only pitched like 6 pitches. And you're putting in Carlos Vargas on a high leverage situation? Yeah, this is not going to go well. Trust me. It will not go well. It's going to be an absolute disaster. What is Dan Wilson even doing? You just take out a guy after 6 pitches? It's going to be a swing and a miss, strike 2. Babe Ruth, who would have thought that? Wow. Could have done Justin Verlander, too. Now we're at 0-2, and now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down he goes. I think next inning I have something that I do like. I might like it, but I'm not sure. We'll see. Now here's Vargas, and now the pitch. That is going to be inside for a ball. This is Ryan Jeffers up to the plate. It's going to be 1-0 for Ryan Jeffers. And now the pitch. And a swing and a miss, and that is going to be a 2-0 count. And now the pitch. That's going to be popped up. Julio's right there. He makes the catch, and that's going to be 2 outs. It's going to be Carlos Correa, who is always heavily booed as a former Astro. Now the pitch. And that's going to be in there for a strike. Framber Valdez just pitched an 83-pitch, 9-inning game. Who would have thought? Now it's going to be 0-1. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball. In one-run games, Mariners are 10-7. So kind of cutting it close, if you ask me. As we're at 1-1 for Carlos Correa. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, and that is going to be 2-1. And the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 2. As we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, 3-2. Oh, I could have guessed Randy Johnson. Ah! Now we're at 3-2 for Carlos Correa. And the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Now we're at 3-2. And the pitch. And ball 4, take your base. And who would have thought that pulling Matt Brash after just 6 pitches was a bad idea? Oh, who was right? I'm going to be right. I hope I'm wrong. I really hope I'm wrong. And now we got Lee up to the plate. Brooks Lee, who singled in the 6th inning. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. Now we're at 0-1 for Lee. Correa at first is a tying run. Now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field. But Taveras is going to be there. And he makes the catch. And that is going to retire the side. And now time to play the immaculate grid once again. J.P. Crawford, Jorge Polanco, and Julio Rodriguez are going to be next. All right, let's play this game. All right, Phillies and Brewers. Screw that. I'm not going to guess that, but I got this one. It's going to be Greg Vaughn. 5%, so that's going to kill. I'm going to do Richie Sexson. It's actually pretty well known. A 6-4 season. Steve Carlton. I would have thought so. Pete Rose is going to be way too obvious. Ellie De La Cruz will be pretty obvious too.
So they'll look at their social media. go look at their school.
Adam Dunn? No, he didn't get it. Fine, I'll do Barry Larkin. I could have guessed Barry fucking Larkin, huh? 300 home runs. I'll do Gary Sheffield. 6 WAR season. Brett Boone. Brett Boone wasn't a 5 WAR player? Fine, Edgar Martinez. I was really bad in this one. Phillies and Braves. Nope. Mark Whitten? Nope. I missed a lot on this one. Oh, yeah, I missed a lot. Yep, I was really... Norm Charlton again? Oh, Brett Boone did not hit 300 home runs. He hit 252. Oopsie. That was pretty embarrassing. Play the next one later. And now the pitch. That's going to be inside for a ball. Yeah, Boone was... he was a 7 WAR player, but he never hit 300 home runs. He hit 252. Andres Munoz in the bullpen. It's going to be up high for a ball for J.P. Crawford. Now we're at 2-0, and the pitch, and that's going to be a foul ball. We're at 2-1 for Crawford. And the 2-1, and that's going to be a ball. 3-1. We're at 3-1, the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to center field, popped up. And Buxton's there to make the catch. Jorge Polanco. Fritz. Thank you very much for the $2. Now the magic number is $48. And now here is Jorge Polanco up to the plate. And now the pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. Polanco's now batting .268 with 10 home runs and 30 RBIs. Now it's 0-1. Now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. For All-Star and Angels, I'll put in Darren Erstad. And we're at 1-1. And that is going to be a strike. Yeah, Darren Erstad's a 2%er, so that worked. San Diego, I'll put in Gary Sheffield because who would know? 0.5%, not bad. Now we're at 1-2. And the pitch. And there's a fly ball to left field and fouled. Hall of Fame and All-Star. Maybe I'll put in... Thinking of Eddie Murray. Yeah, who the hell's going to know Eddie Murray anyway? 0.5%. I'm off to a really good start on this one. Oh, Hall of Fame and Washington. Now the pitch. There's a ground ball right to first base, and it's going to be 2 outs right there. Oh, I could have done Chuck Finley on this one. Would have been even better. Gary Carter. That was actually 15%, so that's going to hurt. Hall of Fame and Cubs. Ernie Banks will be quite a bit. And I'm too lazy. Yeah, that's quite hefty. And the pitch. Oh, this is Greg Maddux. I think I already did this one too, anyway. Yep. Cubs and Angels. Now here's the 1-0 for Julio and the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. Now I'm looking at Cubs and Angels. I really don't know a combination between the Cubs and Angels. And now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 2. Angels and... I know this one is Juan Soto, and it's probably going to kill me a lot. Yep, 47%. That'll do it. Angels and the Nationals. Angels and Cubs. Oh, Anthony Rendon. Yeah, everyone knows that. Cubs and Angels. Now we're at 1-2. And the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. And now we got Julio at first base. Who would have been Cubs and Angels combination? Really, no one that I would have known. Steve Cishek? Dan Heron, Glenn Allen Hill, Tommy La Stella, John Lackey, Jose Molina. Who would have guessed anyway? And now we got Big Dumper up to the plate, and we're going to need a lot of big things out of Cal Raleigh. We need some insurance. And now the pitch. And now here's a fly ball to deep right field. Is that fair? And it's gone. That is a home run for Cal Raleigh. And the Mariners do get their insurance run. That is now going to be a 6-3 lead. And not only does Cal Raleigh get his 21st home run, he is now the leader in major leagues in home runs for the season. And thank you very much. And goodbye, Shohei Ohtani. Move over for a little bit. And the Mariners have pretty much close to guarantee that they could win this game. Knock on wood, 2 home runs in a game for the Big Dumper, Cal Raleigh. What an absolute hit by the Dumper, Torpedo Boy. Woo! Absolutely needed that. Now here's Randy Arozarena. Line drive, and that's going to be a base hit. And now Randy Arozarena is at first base. Now is Rowdy Tellez, who is 0 for 3. Now let's see if Shohei Ohtani actually hit a home run today. Now it's a wild throw, and Randy Arozarena is going to go to second base. And now there's opportunities for the Mariners to put on some more runs. Ohtani hit. Oh, no. Ohtani hit 2 home runs. He is not the leader. Cal Raleigh is now behind by 1 home run again. He is not the major league leader. I lied. Oops, I'm going to have to fix that. Oh, great. Yainer Diaz just hit a walk-off home run. And he's on my fantasy team, and he is on my bench. Just absolutely fan-freaking-tastic. I got it wrong on home run leader because Shohei Ohtani decided to show up. Yeah, that's just annoying. Super annoying. Don't like that at all. I am so upset. But the Mariners are up 6-3, so what am I complaining about? Now he's Rowdy Tellez. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball. It's going to be 1-0. Here's the interesting combos I have for the grid. I got A's in Boston, A's in Colorado, catcher who played 1 game minimum. Now the pitch. And that's going to be 2-0 for Rowdy Tellez. Now we're at 2-0. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike. 2-1. And I already started. As for the catcher who played at least one game and the A's, I picked Jeremy Brown. Moneyball character. I got that all right. Now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball and fouled. That went all the way to the sweets. And the 2-2. And there's a ground ball right to Ty France. And he tosses it over, and it's going to be in time. And it's time for the Mariners. It's Andres Munoz time. And he was going to go in there to try to get that save. And I want to play the Immaculate Grid because the game is freaking addicting. Here we go. A's in Boston. I'm going to pick Ricky Henderson. 6%. Come on. Let's do Jason Giambi on this one. 23%? That's insane. People know that? I'm going to do Nomar. No. Jose Offerman? Oh, no, I got it wrong. Okay, I don't care anymore. Oh, Jeffrey Hammonds. Jeffrey Hammonds. Yeah. Who would have guessed? Dan Wilson almost had that one. Trot Nixon. Okay, I got right with Trot Nixon. 30 home runs in Boston. Everyone knows Nomar. I don't care. Nomar Garciaparra. Yeah, that was a pretty good one. 30-plus home runs. I'm going to pick Dante Bichette. Oh, no. 30 home runs. A catcher. Let's do Javi Lopez. It was actually 3%. My rating was 145. Let's see if I can do one more before this is over. Giants and Toronto. I think I already did that one. Okay, let's go to May 11th. Detroit. We are back from the break. It is over. Let's get the final 3 outs, Mariners. Let's do it. Most consecutive games to start with a 0 ERA. It was actually Lucas Licky is the leader. Now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field by Ty France, and that is going to be a base hit. And he's had himself a game going 2 for 4, 2 singles for Ty France. Yeah, he got it off of his former teammate. It was right down the middle, too. Not exactly the best placement, especially when it's Ty France. Clemens is now 0 for 3. He's the batter. And now the pitch. Up high for a ball. That nearly got away. Munoz is at 1-0 right now. Now we're at 1-0. And the pitch. Now here's a ground ball foul. 1-1 so far. Got 12 people on the show right now. Now we're at 1-1. And now it's going to be 1-2. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. And that is going to be 1 out. And I don't think I have room to have one more immaculate. Maybe like at the end of the game if I'm in the mood. Because the game is fun. Got 11 viewers right now. Thank you for being there. You got 1 out, 1 on now the pitch. And that's going to be a strike for Lewis. Lewis, who is 0 for 3. Mariners can end this with a double play. Now we're at 0-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be inside for a ball. And that is going to be 1-1. Now we're at 1-1. Now the pitch. It's going to be a ground ball foul. And then 1-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Another strikeout for Andres Munoz. And the Twins are down to their final out. Everyone's saying, get up, get up. Last hope for the Twins is going to be Castro, the pitch. And that is going to be outside for a ball. And I believe Castro hit the home run. Willie Castro, did he? Yes, he did. Now we're at 1-0 for Willie Castro. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike, 1-1. Now we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. Outside for a ball again, 2-1. And the pitch. Low for a ball, 3-1. Oof. We're at 3-1 the pitch. Now here's a fly ball drilled to right center field. Forget about that one. And that is a home run for Castro, his second home run of the game. And with that, Andres Munoz's scoreless pitching has came to an end, and it came off of a home run by Willie Castro. So the streak is over for Munoz. And yep, now it's a 1-run game all of the sudden. And I thought we were talking about just ending this game. And Castro, that was literally a fastball right down the middle. And now that's his first set of runs given up. And it was only a matter of time that the home run would happen. And now it's over for Andres Munoz. First homer allowed by Munoz as well. Now his ERA is at a 0.74. And how am I feeling? Not too good. Here's Byron Buxton, but he is 0 for 4. So they have a good shot. And now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. A little bit of an oopsie pitch by Andres Munoz. He thought he could outduel him with the fastball, especially on Willie Castro, but he had already hit the home run. So maybe he already had the momentum. But we're at 0-1 for Byron Buxton. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to be a base hit. And now we have the lead run at the plate, and now the tying run at first base. And this game just won't die. Even a 3-run lead was not going to be enough. And now we got Lamock, who is already homered. He has singled to center field. He's 2 for 4. And this is where things can get very, very dangerous. Yeah. We're at 2 for 4 for Lenock. And now here's the pitch. And check swing, he does not go. And Munoz has now, we can say, struggled in this inning. His ERA is now at 0.74. The streak did snap. And now everyone is getting nervous. And you can't really trust the Mariners to score because they literally live and die by the home runs. We're at 1-0 for Trevor Larnach. Now the pitch. And the umpire just won't give it to him. And umpire, don't you want to go home? Yeah, it was not even close. Cal Raleigh could not sell it to him. Now we're at 2-0 by Larnach. And now the pitch. And now here's a strike and the throw to second, not in time, not even close. As Byron Buxton just zips to second base. And now we got the runner in scoring position. And I was just ready to go out for my neighborhood walk. And looks like it's not going to happen if this game continues. Now we're at 2-1 for Larnach. Now we're at 2-1. And now the pitch. And now here's a liner to center field, and that's going to drop in for a base hit. And that looks like the game is going to be tied, and the blown save has happened. And now the game is tied at 6-all. I cannot believe what I just saw. Munoz, I wanted to, you don't even, man, Mariners have no respect for our personal lives. We have no respect for our time. I was literally just about to walk outside and go for a nice walk in a chilly outside. And now we're going to go into extra innings again. Well, not technically, no, but ugh. Now we got Jeffers up to the plate and the pitch. And it's a wild pitch that gets away. And now Munoz looks like he's just absolutely demoralized. And I wonder if Pete Woodworth is going to come out. And why didn't you come out? Yeah, why did you wait this long? And blown save by Andres Munoz. That's why they call it BS. I know I really got stuff to do, honestly. And that's just the most annoying thing when we were literally just ready to just one more out. And now things are getting very concerning and people were just ready to go. And like how could you let that even happen? Like, are you serious? And that ERA just took him to just above 1 now. It really did. Yep, now he's at 1.11. Now the pitch. And did he go? He did go, but it was a strike. It should have been a strike anyway. Now we're at 1-1. And I can't see the Mariners winning this game anymore as we're at 1-1. And now the pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. 1-2 for Jeffers. One and two for Jeffers. And now the pitch. Now here's a liner to right field caught by Tellez. And that is going to end the inning. And if I were the Mariner fans, don't even give any kind of a cheer. And now my mood has just completely just died because of that. So much for the Mariners have done was totally unsustainable, like getting used to it. Munoz being perfect. Yeah. We were so used to it that we took it for granted. And now I'm going to play this game. MVP. I'm just going to say. Man, who did I? Ty Cobb. He's had to win MVP. Yeah, he won MVP. Justin Verlander. Yeah, 61%. That's going to kill you. Sandy Koufax, 22%. Yeah, this is not a good one for me. Maybe MVP. Freddie Freeman. I don't even care anymore. I'm just like literally in a bad mood because of this. Braves and Cy Young. Greg Maddux. I don't care. Yeah, 58. I'm getting just wrecked on this one. Braves and Twins. Just gonna pick Shohei Ohtani. 6%. How do people not even know that? Twins and Tigers. I feel like there's a lot of Twins and Tigers combinations. What are we gonna do? Yeah, definitely a brand new ball game. They're calling it the Twins version of Andres Munoz. Yeah, this is gonna go quite a bit, isn't it?
Very good. Just 3.2% for opposing hitters.
Here's Leody Taveras. And that is going to be outside for a ball. No volume, huh? There's no volume. You can't hear me at all? Really? This is a joke, isn't it? Now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. I am just absolutely just depressed from this game. Well, yeah, no, whatever. And now here is Leody Taveras. And that's going to be a strike 1-2. Now here is Leody Taveras. Yeah, I can hear myself, Buster. I don't know what you're talking about, Kevin Kirby. As now we're at 1-2. And to make me feel better, help me get to my goal of 50. I'm at $2 right now. Let's get to $50 if we can. Now we're at 1-2 for Taveras. And now the 1-2 pitch. And that's going to be popped up and fouled. Now I have 15 viewers now. If I have 15, the Northwest Sports Fanatics probably has like 100 by now. And he has 78. As we're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that could be a chance to throw to first. And that is in time. And Taveras, he did try. He just doesn't have the speed. And his defense is not that good. And now we got one out. And we're at the bottom of the lineup. Now it's going to be Dylan Moore up to the plate. Can't believe this is happening. The other mistake was wasting away Carlos Vargas. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. And that is going to be a strike. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to get any runs out of this guy. Dylan Moore is at 266 with 8 home runs, struggling. And now the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. To think that Dylan Moore is going to hit a home run off of Duran's pretty delusional. Yeah. 101-mile-an-hour fastball. That's going to be a 1-2. Munoz doesn't even have a 102 anymore. He's supposedly the best closer in baseball, and it got away at 1-2. And now here's the pitch. Now here's a fly ball to left field, and it's caught. And I said that this almost guaranteed the victory, so I kind of jinxed it, didn't I? I will take all the blame. Now here's Ben Williamson. The odds of him hitting a home run is pretty bad. That's all I'm going to say. And now Goldsmith is saying just find good contact, and you're going to have to because you're batting 248. You're 0 for 3. I really was ready to get some fresh air outside, and I'm just toasting in my room. The pitch. Up high for a ball. That was a 102 mile an hour fastball. Munoz had some really bad pitches too. He was pitching too much in the middle. And now the 1-0. Swing and a miss, and that is going to be strike one. And the momentum of this Mariners team has just absolutely disappeared. Now we're at 1-1 and the 1-1 pitch. And that's going to be strike two. And he was just literally just meditating on that pitch. I wonder if there's any news on Cole Young yet. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike three. And that is going to retire the side. An easy 1-2-3 inning for the Twins. And now the momentum goes to the Twins. And now I'm going to do this. Twins and Dodgers. Oh, Ron Fairley. Nope. Jack Morris. Obvious. Twins and Braves. I give up. I don't even care anymore. Yeah, I sucked. And I don't care. Let's. Oh. Cal Ripken Jr. actually pitched before. He pitched a game! Are you serious? Okay, fine. Let's do Wade Boggs.
There's a reason Chevy is called the heartbeat of America. Heartbeat's strong, steady, unwavering.
300 career batting average. And he pitched one game. Cal Ripken Jr. Fine, I'll do Ichiro. Played outfield and pitched one game. Rick Ankiel. Now we got Casey Legumina under the bullpen. Yeah, you know it's over. Casey Legumina in 19 games with a 2.41 ERA. Got a man on second base. And again, I would just do the intentional walk at this point. The pitch. Now here's a fly ball drilled to left field. Forget about that one. And that may have just iced the game. That was Carlos Correa with a 2-run home run. And the Twins have now taken an 8-6 lead. And that may just be the dagger. Just one pitch and a home run, 2-run home run by Carlos Correa. And I know you Astros fans are very happy about it. And that will just be the absolute dagger. I don't know. Spire pitched yesterday. That's why they're not pitching him today. And now here's the pitch to Lee. And that's going to be up high for a ball. I just cannot believe what I saw. Mariners literally had a 4-0 lead, squandered it. Then they were up 4. And now look where we are. The pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Yeah, so what about that T-Mobile Park thing again? What was that again? Didn't think so. And now the pitch. Now here's a line drive, and that's just going to be a base hit, and this is just absolutely hopeless. There's no outs. Guy at first base. This game's over. The T-Mobile Park problem is not a problem. Can you believe our Mariners fans fell for it again after being up 10 games last year? Yep. Now the pitch. We were 1 out away, Kevin Kirby. We were 1 out away. And they just blew it. Offense is still terrible. It's only inflated by the accident home runs. Now the pitch. It's going to be 2-1. I just can't believe what I just saw. I'm just crushed. I'm devastated. Ty France, just please hit a home run. Put us out of our miseries. Now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. I wonder if you put in $1 for the Twins to win the game when they were down 3 in the 9th with Munoz coming up, I think you would have been set for life. And now we got 2-2. Now the pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 3, and down goes Ty France. And believe it or not, ironically, Ty France actually led the charge for the comeback. And the Mariners are on the verge of losing their division lead because Houston won, according to the Yainer Diaz walk-off. And now we got Clemens up to the plate, who is 0 for 4. Now it's popped up right to center field. And J.P. Crawford is there, and he makes the catch. Why is it that we do everything good? You say it's an accident. That gets really annoying. It was an accident. They were just home runs. They just live and die by the home runs, Kevin. I'll tell you what's more annoying. How about having 2 outs? I think you were 1 strike away from winning. Maybe 2. I don't know. We were all about to just get out of here. We were just mentally ready. It's an accident. Correa got a bomb. If you want to play that game, who cares? It's only May. You don't win nothing in May. Yeah, but then it becomes a trend because the Mariners are trending in the wrong directions. You got to understand the trends, Kevin. And obviously, I know you're just upset, which I am too. So you can still vent here if you want. It's fine. We're at 2-0 for Royce Lewis. 6 runs apparently wasn't good enough. The pitch. It's going to be a foul ball. If you really think about it, this is basically the 1997 Mariners with a low ERA. Now we're at 2-1 for Lewis. And now the 2-1 pitch. And that's going to be a ball. That is, or strike. That's going to be 2-2. I'm like, I have lost so much focus on this game. Now we're at 2-2. 0 for 4 is Lewis. Now the pitch. And that's going to be outside 3-2. I mean, Casey Legumina is going to be charged with the loss. Andres Munoz with a blown save. If I were Brian Wu, I would be very upset. And now the pitch. And that's going to be a foul ball. Astros were bad begging of last year, and look what happened. Team goes through bad trends. Yeah, but not like the Mariners when you had a 10-game lead and you literally blew it. As we're at 3-2 for Legumina. And now the pitch. Ball 4, take your base. Now it's Willie Castro, who has a chance to hit 3 home runs in a game. Yeah, and here's the thing. Goldsmith makes an excellent point. Between the innings of 1 through 8, Mariners didn't score any runs, so they had plenty of opportunities to put this game out of reach. And they didn't. Too many 1-2-3s. Just saying. Now here's Willie Castro, who hit 2 home runs, led that charge. Now the pitch. Up high for a ball. It's going to be 1-0 for Willie Castro. And the thing is, we're losing to all these bad hitters. Now the pitch, that is going to strike. I know it's fair. It seems that when Mariners, I don't know, there's something wrong with this team. That's why we got to get actual managers like Joe Madden. Enough with getting these under the radar people. Mariners just don't have, there's just no reason. They don't have the identity to go for these no-name kind of guys. You got to go by, like, why don't we just do Theo Epstein and Joe Madden call it a day? Dan Wilson is not a good manager. He's just not. I think after the season, he should be fired. And Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander should be fired as well. Now the pitch. And what about, let's get Joe Madden and Theo Epstein. Put an end to it. They'll know how it's done. Now we're at 3-2 for Castro. And now the pitch. Dan Wilson's done a good job. How about the fact that he pulled Matt Brash after just 6 pitches and wasted Carlos Vargas? I don't think Dan Wilson is the right manager. I hate to say it. I think we're in the position where we have to get a win now manager, and that name is Joe Madden. Still looking for it. He still hasn't have a job yet. Still looking. He's still available. Just get rid of Dan Wilson and get Joe Madden and get a real manager. Scott Service had plenty of 500, above 500 seasons. I don't care. 21-13. They could have done better than that. We're at 1-0 for Byron Buxton, who kept the game alive. Now the pitch. And that is going to be a strike. Now here's a ground ball. Oh, that gets through Dylan Moore. And that's going to score in a run. Again, that was going to be 9-6 Twins. Oh my goodness. It just keeps happening. A lot of concerns.
I don't know if Dylan could have gotten in front of this one. He plays it to the backhand.
Looks like Cole Young is getting called up. There could be some sources that he is getting called up. And now the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Angry Mariners fan on Twitter goes, Jerry Dipoto even ruined Cole Young's call-up. Quite possibly the only time I could possibly not even give a flying you-know-what about the promotion. For the love of God, fire Jerry Dipoto. He really should be fired. Now the pitch. Ground ball, and that's going to get right through for a base hit. Fair ball, and that's going to easily score in some runs. And the Twins are pretty much just putting this game away. And now it's 12-6. Yeah, this is not a serious lineup at all. There's anyone that wants to, I don't know, vent, keep venting away on the chat box. I mean, I really got to get going because I got to get some sleep because I've got to. I'm supporting one of my best friends for his kickboxing tournament tomorrow. Now it's gonna be 0-1 for Jeffers, and now the pitch, and that's gonna be a foul ball. They have scored 10 runs with 2 outs, and now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And I think this is where the Mariners season could really get out of control, as it already has. Now here's a ground ball right to the second baseman, Dylan Moore. Throw to first in time. And I think all you hear is boos. I think you do hear boos. And now I just want to, I don't know. I'm not even in the mood for a commercial. I'm not even in the mood for anything else. All I can say is, how did this game just get completely, it got completely out of control. I'm just an absolute devastation. Hey, Reese Beast. So what do we think? I think I am done. I am done with Jerry Dipoto. I am done with Justin Hollander. I am done with Dan Wilson. I am done. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm still going to follow this team no matter what. I mean, I'm still doing this game. Theo Epstein, Joe Madden, still available. I'm going to put it on Twitter just to piss everyone off. Theo Epstein and Joe Madden are still available for jobs. Just saying. I'm just saying. We got to get serious people. But then we have pricks like John Stanton who just ruin it. Theo Epstein, right now he's a senior advisor and part owner of the Fenway Sports Group. I don't know, could he be hired? Yeah, he can be hired despite his resume right now. Theo Epstein and Joe Madden are still available for jobs. Just saying. I am just saying. Now I got Brock Stewart, got a man on second. Actually, I will not change my mind. I'm still going to say it was probably because of lucky wins, and you know a 10 in a row is not going to happen. I know you're just joking, but I'm not going to change my mind. I'm still going to say there's a lot of concerns. I was concerned about the team when they were on fire. I was concerned about the team when they had a 10-run lead. I was concerned about the team in 2023 when they won 21 games. Now the 1-0, and that is going to be a strike. Mariners have lost 3 in a row. And they've only won like 1 game in the last 8 or something. Maybe like 2 of their last 8, I think. Now the 1-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. We got to remember we have a lot of injuries. Not using that as an excuse, but just saying. Yeah, but Dan Wilson didn't have to pull Matt Brash after 6 pitches. And Andres Munoz didn't have to put it right over the plate either. Especially if his velocity doesn't go to 103 anymore. 1-2 for Crawford. The pitch up high for a ball. 2-2. And I hate the extra innings rule. And I'm not hating it just because they lost these 2 games. I hated it when the Mariners were dominating the extra inning games in 21. 2-2. That's going to be a foul ball. They were almost 1 strike away from winning this game. Now we're at 2-2. And the pitch. And that's going to be up high for a ball. 3-2. I don't like it either. You bunt and the fly ball. You have a lead. And now the pitch. That's going to be a foul ball. Literally a fastball, 95, right down the middle. And J.P. Crawford fouls it. This is why he's going to lose his job to eventually Cole Young and or Cole Emerson.
He's going to lose his job eventually. A perfect time to have a team meeting. Here's my idea. 3-2. Here's a ground ball. Advance the runner to third base, and JP Crawford doesn't even hustle. Here's what I would do. I would make the team stay after the game, make them do brutal drills. Just like the U.S. hockey team when they tied with Norway. Norway. Before the 1980 Olympics, because they were not playing up to the level. They tied them at 3-3. Herb Brooks noticed the lack of urgency and the lack of effort. And he made them stay and run drills until like midnight. I don't know if it was midnight, but it was like 13 laps or something worth of suicides going. I think Dan Wilson's got to do something like that. The discipline is gone, and Dan Wilson just doesn't do it. And I think Cole Young is getting called up, by the way. And now the pitch. Either is being called up or traded. Now we're at 0-2. And now the pitch. The National Series was an absolute embarrassment. We're at 1-2. And now the pitch. Low for a ball, 2-2. Scott Service is somewhere in San Diego laughing at the Mariners. He wouldn't have done any better either. It'd be the same thing, if not worse. I'm reading all these tweets. And now we're at 2-2. And now the pitch. And that's going to be low for a ball. And honestly, at this point, I think Polanco should have just taken the hit. Take one for the team. I don't care if they're in the playoff picture. I wanted the division. I don't think Mastroboni has any options, though, unless he signed the minor league contract. Now the pitch. Now here's a fly ball popped up, and you know this is not going to go anywhere. And the Mariners are going to be down to their final out. And now it's going to be 2 outs. Again, Goldsmith, the Nationals, you feel like you should win that series. Why is this? This is Mariners speak. Well, yeah, they should have won that series, but they didn't. Does anyone want to do a vent show? Like, if I send you my link to be on this show, would you do it? Put it in the comments. Now we're at 2 for 4 is Julio, and it's going to be a ball. And the Mariners are down to their final out. That's the thing. The Twins were down by 3. They showed resilience, hustle, and urgency. The Mariners, when they're down or when they were tied, they just looked like they just gave up. Now we're at 1-0. Reese Beast. All right, that's fine. Here, I'll do it after this game is over, which I'm pretty sure it is. We're at 1-1. We're at 1-1 for Julio. And now the pitch. Now here's a ground ball, and that's going to diving stop by Correa, throw to first, and that is in time. And the ball game is, I think the ball game is over. Yeah, it's 2 outs, right? Yep. And I think Dan Wilson's going to challenge it. But here's my thing. I don't care if it's overturned. I am looking at Julio Rodriguez for his absolute lack of hustle. Yep, he's out. What was Julio doing? He had plenty of time to get to first base. That should have been it. Yep. The ball game is over. 12-6.
Final score. Need a team meeting. Julio doesn't hustle. And there's your link. If you would like to join and vent away about the team. And at this point, I will invite everyone. I'll even take like 100 people at this point. But man, what an absolute disaster of a game. And you know what? I'm going to try to see if I can get other fans to show up to my show. What a disaster of a game. Want to vent on my show? Here you go. There's your chance. Make them do workouts. Absolutely. I was so ready to go out for a nice fresh air walk. I'm going to see if my friend wants to walk still. People are going to be blaming Mooney like crazy. I actually don't blame Andres Munoz. Now, sure, he should have pitched a lot better. I mean, I didn't like that he left things over the plate. Really easy. Like, it was like a 97 right down the middle. But there is more things that led up to this. Like, why did, like you said, Kevin, why did Bryan Woo just easily give up runs? Now, granted, he had a little nail problem. I know the offense was terrible from innings 2 through 8. It was literally all their runs were by home runs, and you literally cannot live and die by home runs. Looks like nobody wants to be on the show, which I'm perfectly fine with. Oh, I got Reese Beast on. All right, Reese Beast, let's do this. All right, Reese Beast, how you feeling?
Man, I with my time watching Mariners baseball since 2019, I've never seen a team 2 games in a row like this and a meltdown back-to-back games. That was crazy.
Yeah, crazy thing. Like,
I'm at a loss of words.
I am too. Like, I was at the game yesterday. Mariners had a chance to win every bit of chance, and they blew it in 7 runs fashion. And then they do it again, like deja vu all over again. Like, take me what your other thoughts are other than they completely blew it.
They have no fight in them. Every single time they're down by 1 run, it feels like they're down by 11 because they operate how they're built. And it's hard to see them come back because they don't ever do it. Like, you see the Reds, who are not a good team. If you're down by 3 runs, it's no big deal because they have fight in them. Even the White.
I mean, look at the Twins.
Come on. Hey, what are you supposed to do with this team? Like, I've never been more.
Well, how about that they were tied in that 9th inning and they made it into like an easy 1-2-3 inning. They didn't do anything.
I do think Munoz, I don't think it was his fault. I do believe it was Cal's fault. After giving up the home run, he should have went out there to talk to him, just to calm him down a bit. And they could have won the game, but Munoz was down to give up a home run eventually because no pitcher's ever perfect, and I get that. So,
I'm not gonna put I won't put everything on Munoz. The only thing I will put on him is I noticed some of his pitches were right over the plate, and they were not even like 100-mile-an-hour fastballs. It was like 97 maybe. So that's the only thing I would have said. But other than that, it was like you couldn't really put. I don't think Munoz deserved 100% of the blame. Not even close. It's just it was only a matter of time. But it was like, how about the fact that the Mariners had on innings 2 through 8, they did not score a single run, and that all their runs came from home runs, like literally living and dying by the home run. And then Bryan Woo didn't look too good because his little nail didn't like really bothered him, I guess, but still shouldn't have blown a 4-run lead. So there's another one there. And then Casey Legumina just completely imploded. And some are questioning like, where was Gabe Spire? other concerns I had was why did Matt Brash get pulled? Because I would have rather put in Matt Brash for the 8th inning, and then maybe if Munoz blew it again, or if he blew it, then you would have had at least Carlos Vargas. Because as much as I don't even like Carlos Vargas, I would rather have Carlos Vargas over Casey Legumina in a very high leverage situation. It's not saying much, but I think most would say they would rather have Carlos Vargas over Legumina in a situation like that.
And the problem is too, they don't spend anything on the bullpen. They try to get lucky if these guys only make like $1 million a year. Like, I have never heard of Casey Legumina, even Carlos Vargas. The only 2 players I heard of, like 2 bullpen guys I've heard of going into this season was Brash and Munoz. That's it. You keep trying to
Brash and Munoz,
year after year, and
that's
the result you get. You can't get lucky.
Yeah, and what's
Like,
really
it's all falling apart.
It already has. It started falling apart in May, and I've noticed that. Like, look at Jorge Polanco. I think he's batting worse than Donovan Solano in the month of May alone.
Oh yeah. Well, he's not going to hit 350 forever.
No, I wasn't expecting 384. It was like I was still expecting maybe 250 at best. But he's already on the verge of getting close to 250. He's like batting like 265 now.
The problem is you're going to keep one with guys like Miles Mastrobuoni. Like, that's nice. He puts the ball in play. Yeah, but he has no power on him. He has no hitting. Like, cut him. Bring up Cole Young. Bring up someone who can be more exciting. And just bring him up. See what he does. Like, Donovan Solano. Why is he should have been gone after the first 3 weeks of the season. Why is he even still on the team?
Doesn't help when you give him $3.5 million. And the scary part is Mariners on paper could have just signed Ty France for $1 million. That could have happened, but they didn't do it. I actually thought that there was going to be a chance that they would do it, but they went with Solano instead. And then regarding Cole Young, in case you haven't heard yet, he actually got pulled from the Rainiers game around the 4th inning. So maybe there's an indication that either he got traded or he's being called up. But I would think it's more likely that he gets called up. But there was already enough evidence from the Nationals series that he should have been called up for tonight.
Like, this is back-to-back nights now where you gave it up. You've had a meltdown in the 10th inning. There should at least be a team meeting tonight. I don't care how early the game is tomorrow. I think it's like at 5 or something, but still. There needs to be a team meeting, or they got to do something. Like, you cannot go out there and play with this type of energy you have been building over the past 3 days. First, you get shut out by the Nationals. Complete. Trevor Williams has been garbage this season. You get shut out by him. Next day, you lose 9-2 in a pathetic way. And today, you're down to their last out, and you give up 9 straight runs.
Insane, and most of those runs were given up on 2 outs.
Yep. It's just they don't. Man, this is just frustrates me, man. I've been mad at like the Mariners. I've just never been this mad. Like they're better than this year. They've proven they went toe to toe with the Boston Red Sox. So I think they're going to be a playoff team. They're dealing with some things right now, but they won the series in Boston. They sweep the Padres. They were able to keep up with the Yankees and the Tigers for a bit. You're telling me you can't handle the Washington Nationals?
Washington Nationals, yeah.
The Minnesota Twins down to the last out.
Yeah, last out. Oh, regarding Cole Young, by the way, don't want to
easy schedule coming up.
Yeah, I don't believe in easy schedule rhetoric. I don't believe in that either. I don't believe in it.
Like,
they still got to play their game.
They do. The O's, they've won what 20 games, but still they're the O's. They can get hot at any time. The Angels. That's a division. Like, you can lose both of those series so easily. Considering it's the Mariners, I would definitely expect it. But
I would too.
They gotta go out tomorrow. They gotta win. That's the reality. This is adversity here, and this team was lucky to make it in 2022. This team has faced zero adversity, and now it's showing.
And tomorrow we got Bryce Miller, and there's no guarantees that he's going to pan out tomorrow, considering that he's been having an injured-riddled season. And then Sunday is going to be La Piedra, Luis Castillo, but you still don't know what you're going to get out of him. But the good news is for tonight, though, it is actually official that Cole Young is actually going to be called up to the major leagues. So we'll see him tomorrow, if not Sunday. So there's some kind of consolation, but Cole Young's got a huge task ahead of him. He's got to step up fast.
He does, and that's a lot of pressure on a rookie, but I'm excited for him, I just wonder, I'm curious to see who they're going to get rid of.
Whoever they sent down, I think it's going to be Leo Rivas, because I think he has options. I don't know if Master Boney has options unless it was a minor league contract.
I get people like some Miles, give me Miles Master Boney, but still, he's not would he be starting for any other MLB team or be on their team? You do nothing this offseason, and now it's really starting to show. 9 series wins in a row, so what? It's the same thing as last year. The only difference is it's the other way around. You're hitting the ball. You're not pitching the ball. You're wasting another good night from Cal Raleigh, who carried this team.
Literally on his back.
He's hitting, 270, 21 home runs. For a catcher?
And he's just behind Shohei Ohtani on major league lead in home runs.
By this time of the year, you'd expect Julio to do something like that.
Oh, he should, and he's very disappointing. And I'm feeling the same thing for Randy Arozarena, but I think Randy Arozarena has he has more. Did you see that huge necklace that he was wearing? I'm like, why is he wearing such heavy jewelry in a baseball game? Makes absolutely no sense. That whole showboating thing really just drives me nuts.
He used to be Showtime. He ain't anymore. He's 30 years old.
Yeah, he's 30 years old, and I guess Mariners do have some prospects to look forward to. Granted, though, they're in Everett. But if they go to Double-A, if everything goes perfect, then there's not much room for Randy Arozarena. But now that's just Laz Montez and Farmelo, they have to really rake the ball.
Laz Montez will be his replacement in a couple years, I bet.
My only fear is I just hope he doesn't end up like a Jared Kelenic or a Carlos Peguero. That's my fear because he does strike out a lot. He still has that issue. So there's that. And when you go to T-Mobile. Yeah, Mariners know how to strike out very well.
I do think, the trade deadline, they're going to, only because Jerry DePoto's back to the wall, he's going to make trades. I would expect to see them especially go after a first baseman or, maybe a second baseman, someone that's good, someone that could hit the ball for power, be your everyday starter. The question is, who is that going to be? And it might be a little early to look out to it, sure, but maybe you got to go get help right now because just the way
it looks like. So as of September 5th, 2024, for Jerry DePoto, it said, as the Mariners navigate their final stretch of the season, the Seattle Times reported on Thursday that the club will retain Jerry DePoto as president of baseball operations in 2025 and potentially beyond. They still haven't made it clear of what kind of a commitment they made for him, but it looks like they're still going to just roll with him.
It's because for the past 20 years we've been experiencing, losing every season. Now we got 4 straight winning seasons in a row. That's not good enough. You got to make the playoffs. Yeah, sure.
You do.
You missed the playoffs by 1 year because you were injured, but you missed the playoffs back-to-back years by 1 game. And you keep signing guys. It's like that one guy said, sign guys like Mitch Haniger, World Series. What are we doing?
And to make matters worse on that trade, which it was actually a trade to make matters worse, Robbie Ray is absolutely on fire. So Mariners traded away basically a potentially all-star pitcher for a guy who's not even playing in the major leagues right now. And that was one of those fools. I will take it to I will take the accountability for myself that I actually was okay with that Robbie Ray move because I thought it was over for him. But no one expected Mitch Haniger to be that bad either.
No one did. If you know who Chris Paddock is, I mean, he's now on the Twins, and he's having a decent season too. So you lost both. I mean, come on. The front office is such a joke. It's ridiculous. I mean,
they've been a joke since the inception of their
It
inception.
was one season. That was a lucky playoff run.
The 14
game win streak.
the 14 game winning streak should have never happened. That was just pure luck.
I remember the game where I think JP hit like a pop fly right to catcher. And then the next play, Carlos Santana hits a 2-run bomb. Like, that's a game they should have lost. Like, come on.
Yeah, of course.
And you play another game against the Rangers. Like, I mean, they played well against the Rangers that year, but I remember them always being very close. And now,
Also, rest of the competition didn't exactly play that well either. So Mariners literally would have had to try really hard to collapse in the month of September. And they didn't even play that well in September either.
No, they didn't play well September at all. I was worried. I was watching every game until they actually got in. I was like, no. And they actually do something. That's the funny thing. But that offseason, they go and get Teoscar Hernandez, which they won that trade. Eric Swanson isn't even in the big leagues anymore. You won that trade. But you weren't willing to do anything in the trade deadline to go out and get someone else.
The worst part of the whole Teoscar thing was the Mariners didn't even extend the qualifying offer. And had they extended the qualifying offer and Teoscar say no, because he would have said no, they would have gotten the first round pick. But they didn't even write a blank check or anything like that. They could have, if they just wrote not blank check. Oh yeah, they could have wrote a blank check and Teoscar says no, and they get the first round pick.
And Mitch Haniger.
Yeah, but
not even playing on the team.
Nope, Canzone, like I think the last plate appearance I saw out of Canzone was he check swinged on a pitch on the dirt, and he gets sent down after that.
What a joke. And you signed a guy, Victor Robles, who's been quite the story, but you got lucky with that guy. Are you kidding me? You got
way too lucky.
Like, I mean,
there was no way.
Player, don't get me wrong, but you got lucky with them. I mean, at some point, I feel like Seattle needs to do something significant to their front office, whether it's firing Hollander or someone like that. If they're going to keep Dipoto, they might fire a Hollander, which I could see, but they got to do something up front.
Hollander is basically Dipoto at this. They're pretty much the same guys. I mean, Hollander is just doing what Dipoto tells him to do.
Yeah, I was like, I remember reading that day the news. It was like, oh, Hollander becomes Mariners. Oh, it's like this isn't going to change anything. Dipoto is still going to be the guy, doing everything. So
there was actually a joke picture where when Jerry Dipoto promoted Justin Hollander, there was actually a funny picture that was making a joke of both of them. I'm gonna see if I can find it. It was like on Twitter. Jerry Dipoto promoted Justin Hollander. I'm gonna see if I can find it. Nope, I can't find the picture. It was basically it was a picture of Jerry Dipoto and Jerry Dipoto. That's what it basically was. Oh, I found it. Here it is. You're gonna love it. I think you'll like this. That's what it was. Oh. Jerry Dipoto and Justin Hollander celebrate the Julio. See, that's Jerry Dipoto, and there's Justin Hollander.
That's pretty much, that should be him and John Stanton right there.
Oh, John Stanton. Honestly, I think he's worse than Nintendo.
He is. Well, I will say this too is at least but I think the reason why we get kind of this way every game is because we know if you're a Mariners fan, if you're an actual fan, you watch a lot of the games. You know that every game counts because the past 2 seasons you missed it by one game.
One game.
So you feel the importance of it. Like towards if you're like the Yankees or something, you don't feel that because you don't miss the playoffs by one game. You normally make it. So you're like, we're not to the point where we can say, "Oh, we lost it. It's no big deal. We could just win the next day." No, you have to try and go and win every day.
There were fans after that Yordan Alvarez home run against Robbie Ray. I saw Facebook comments where fans were like, "Oh, it's just one game. We'll bounce back." And even Scott Service said it too, where he was like, "Oh yeah, these things happen. We'll be fine." Oh yeah, and they get swept.
No, I knew. I was like, "Oh, it was a good season, right?" I was vacuuming in the house. I remember that day. I was vacuuming while watching the game. So I was, just trying to keep my mind off of it because I saw they're making a comeback. And I remember him hitting the ball high and deep. I literally dropped the vacuum because I was just pissed and shocked at the same time. I'm just like, how do you could have intentionally walking. You could have put anyone else besides Robbie Ray out there.
Yeah, and Yordan kills lefties too. And I actually feel bad for Robbie Ray because Scott Service did everything he could to set him up for failure. I didn't blame Robbie Ray at all for that.
I don't either. And I guarantee, I promise you this, if you intentionally walk your again, I think Bregman was up next, but still, I do believe they won that game.
I think if Scott Service did not knee jerk, because it was 2 outs, but then when Pena got on base, Scott Service he basically knee jerked, made the move. And that's what he does. And Dan Wilson, I think he's like too passive on his moves. Like he takes a really long time to say like, okay, you should probably get out. Like even Brian Wu, I thought that Dan Wilson was going to pull him out a little bit earlier because he was actually in pain. Like he had, like when your thumb is messed up, like your thumbnail is messed up, it actually does take a toll.
Yeah. I don't mind Dan Wilson to an extent, which is weird because he makes gutsy calls. I never saw it from Scott Service. Like I remember the Toronto game that I was on the live stream with you, I think, and they were pitching Bazardo in the 10th. And I was like, oh, the game's over. And it actually worked out. Like he made these gutsy calls time after time, which it works.
Dan Wilson still makes questionable. He still makes questionable moves with his bullpen, and his bullpen is still it's basically just as bad as Service, but he's basically Scott Service, but he'll let his starters pitch a little bit longer. Scott Service was pulling dudes with a borderline no-hitter performance.
Yep. And this is both of them have that. We always blame them. Bullpen. Well, the Mariners always the past like 5 years since 2021, they've always played in close games. Like, I mean, we gotta stop playing in less close games. Like, I just don't know what to tell you there. Like, we don't spend any money in the offense. Nothing's gonna change. Like when the Mariners spend money in the offense, it works. Robinson, Cano, Nelson Cruz, like it works, but yet they don't want to do it.
And they had opportunities. Like I thought they should have went for Bregman. I thought
that's not even Bregman. Just get Pete Alonso. And this team would be 10 games above 500. I mean, this might sound crazy. Just go get Pete Alonso. He got paid 20 or 30 million a year in New York.
Yeah,
in the Seattle heartbeat.
Yeah, and screw that $16 million payroll that they have. Screw that. Why would they have such a payroll when there are fans still showing up? Fans are still buying their merchandise. Heck, we have visiting fans showing up to the games. So that's giving us money. And they're not taking advantage of that.
If you don't want to keep all that money, then just trade Luis Castillo away. And then you bring up Hancock or Evans.
Yeah, Hancock and Evans. Evans is...
You wouldn't have this problem at all. But the problem is you do. and now you're at a crossroads where you're at a make or break point in the season. Like, I remember after the Giants series, I was like, you either somehow come back from this, or you just call it quits early and we game plan for next year.
Let's not. Don't even want to think about next year. I'm not even ready for that. Like, I feel like I'm still just settling into Mariners 2025 season.
I just knew after Munoz, when he blew that save, I was like, if the Mariners don't get lucky this next inning, they're gonna lose the game. Like, and it was proof. Carlos Correa first pitch against Legumina, who's, by the way, Legumina's been pretty awful too as of late.
Yeah, don't let that initial 2.41 ERA fool you.
Call it 4.41 to how atrocious that was.
I can actually check right now and see what it is now. Legumina is at 4.58 and Munoz is at 1.09.
But Munoz was expected. Like, this was overdue. Like,
it was way overdue.
But even after the home run, it's hard to blame Cal Raleigh after this game. But if it's one thing I can get him on, go out and talk to him. It's still a one-run game. You guys have a lead. It's 2 outs. Go and talk to your guy.
Talk to the guy.
Talk to the guy. Get on the same page. Win the ball game.
That's what Dan Wilson would have done. Well, why didn't Dan Wilson didn't even do that? He was known to do that. He did that with his. Dan Wilson worked with some of the worst bullpens in Mariners history, and he would go out there constantly and be like, "Hey, let's get it together." But didn't happen. I don't think. Yeah, it looks like Cal Raleigh didn't even talk to Mooney until it was too late. Yeah, Pete Woodworth comes out. It's like, oh, now you want to talk to him after it's too late.
Yeah. I mean, they should have, to be honest, lost to the top of the ninth because Ryan Jeffers hit a lucky line drive for Rowdy. I was like, oh, here we go. Munoz blew the game. But, oh, no, Rowdy saves the game for another inning. I mean, it's just ridiculous how you handle the past 2 games because it's all of a sudden like the City Connect uniforms. You suck when playing in them now. Like, you just suck. How about you get
really good at them?
Now they just suck. Get new ones. Do something different.
I want the old black Seattle jerseys from 1999 to 2000. That's what I want. I want those back.
Sunday cream jerseys every day. You play good in the Sunday cream. I know that.
True that.
I love the Sunday cream jerseys. So I was like, oh, this is going to be like a 2-1 game here. I mean, it's great. But yeah, no. Let's go out here in the City Connect uniforms. And let's go out and blow a 7th run, 10th inning. I mean, come on.
Yeah, especially when the whole Trident thing hasn't exactly been friendly to Mariners history. When they had their Trident logos from like 1977 to 1986, yeah, those were like the darkest years in Mariners history. Oh, and let's go back to I was against that whole Trident. I never liked the Trident. I never did. I always thought it was bad luck. Now, is it the reason why they suck? No, this is just me being emotional and superstitious, but numbers back it up anyway.
I think this is the darkest years of Mariners history.
No. You want to talk darkest year? Let's go to 2008, where they went all in on Eric Bedard and Carlos Silva and Brad Wilkerson, only to lose 101 games. $100 million payroll, 100-loss season. That was dark.
2018 was pretty bad, too. That was the year they were supposed to make it as well.
Oh, 2018, I was so crushed that I was like, screw this, blow it up.
Games over 500, and you somehow end up 15 below. It shows that.
It was a 15-30 game swing. What they did was absolutely insane.
I don't know what happened. The offense was loaded. The pitching was loaded.
They were still hitting well without Cano too.
The pitching sucked. That could have been a big part of it, but teams.
Well, yeah. When Felix was pretty much a fifth starter at that point. That didn't help either, and Paxton could only do so much.
Paxton. Yeah, a couple other guys too. I mean, just remember that team being so loaded. But yet, Nope. Find a way to come up
The
short.
23 team, now in retrospect, was loaded. The 23 team, I think.
I think they should have. They were unlucky that year. If you want to talk about where your Seattle truly got robbed, it was that year. There's a couple games where you beat Kansas City like 18-0. You beat Baltimore 16-1 or something. Yet you still missed the playoffs because you played too many one-run games. You had Teofilo, Cal, Julio, Kai. Kai was good that year.
The Reds game really stuck out when they had a 3-run lead and they just give up a 3-run home run.
Oh, I remember that. I think I was watching the stream. I think you were streaming that one too when I was watching it.
I streamed that one at the last second. I didn't even put a thumbnail on it.
Yeah. I don't know who hit that, but I remember watching that. I was like, oh, God, here we go again.
I think it was Martini.
Topo gave that up. Who plays for the Twins now, by the way? Who's pretty good.
Oh yeah, Topa, and then we traded him for that was for Polanco.
Polanco, yeah. I mean, hey, it's kind of worked out for like 1 month.
I still didn't blame that trade. I didn't blame him for doing it. I was like, I still would do that trade again. It's just who would have known that Polanco would have like imploded like this. But the injuries were a red flag though. That should have been red flag. I saw it, but I was like, okay, fine. But at least Jerry was trying.
I thought signing Mitch Garver was bad too.
We gave up Eugenio Suarez just to save money for Mitch Garver. That's the insane part.
This team just bewilders me to where they just come up with these new players. It's like, who the hell is this guy? I mean, no offense. I get it, you're an MLB player, but compared to these other guys, like, who the hell is this guy? Respectfully.
It's all right. These guys they made their money. They can handle it. They can handle little criticism, just as long as a bunch of stupid bots don't do death threats to Mitch Garver. And I honestly do think most of those were just bots. I don't think they were even real Mariner fans' accounts.
I do gotta charge my phone. I gotta go. I gotta get some sleep for tomorrow. But it was nice to be on for once.
Oh yeah, it was. And if you feel the need to vent, just like every Mariner fan will, do it. And thanks for being on the show.
I got you. All right, we'll see you.
All right.
See
you later. Well, that was Reese Beast. And Reese Beast, thank you for being on the show. And actually, I think I'm going to close the show because I just want to go on a walk and just let it all out. And for those that were part of this game, thank you very much for the engagement. Thank you very much, not only Reese Beast for being part of it, but Fritz for donating $2. And Kevin Kirby, if you hear this message, I just want to say I thank you for at least sparking a debate. I liked it. Even though you said I was annoying, you had every right to say it. Well, that's going to do it. Let's hope that Cole Young pans out tomorrow. And of course, I may not even be available for that game. Anyways, have a good night, everyone. And painfully saying, go Mariners.